that he fishing. He tries to cover it up by accusing his accusers of teaching hate, but actually they're just exposing him for being responsible for what exists.
Well, that's something of an argument, but I've heard speeches made by some of the people of your group. I think I've heard you make speeches. It seemed to me that you were advocating.
I'm also giving a tribute to Malcolm
Well, I
X.
would have to describe, I think, as violence.
I'm also giving a tribute to Malcolm
serious
X today.
injuries that have been done to people with which I totally
I
agree.
don't call that
Right on.
violence. I don't in any way encourage black people to go out and initiate acts of aggression.
Right on.
I'm a member of the Trinity United Church of
But I
Christ.
do
Me
believe
too.
that the black
And
man
the
in the United States and
what
any
black
human
and
being anywhere
unapologetically Christian.
is well
So
within
I
his
was
right to do whatever is
back.
necessary by any means necessary to protect his life and property, especially in a country where the federal government itself has proven that it is either unable or unwilling to protect the lives and property of those human beings.
And listen, guys, it's Delta time. You're listening to the Cleopatra Show. We are up live on Facebook. Be sure to like the WVON page. Interact with me. I'll be sure to talk back with you. If you would like to keep up with me exclusively, be sure to follow me across all social media platforms at Follow Cleopatra. And be sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's right. Check me out. Tell your cousins, your friends, church members. That's how we grow and tell somebody. Listen. In the studio with me, I have a very special guest. And in tandem, I get to raise up an amazing man, a uniquely crafted human being just for a time such as this. Need I remind you, he is about to embark upon a heavenly birthday, 101 years old, as he continues to support us from afar. And it's something to have a spiritual warrior. Did you hear his message? That's okay if you missed that beat and you tardy for class, you better come with a pass. You will hear his voice throughout the entire show today as I make a pathway for us to need not forget. In fact, I'm going so far to ask the question, when it comes to our understanding and our question of the day, I want us to think about this as we uplift Malcolm X. What message of his is relevant today? Did the roosters come home and roost? Yeah. See, when they want to drag a black man, not just for a tan suit, but for any elevation of an opportunity of intellectual engagement. See, this is before we created GPS of how to follow me. Were you hearing him? Even in his journey from little to X, it was all in between. And I have several profound messages. The phone lines are yours, 773-591-1690. Because he called a thing a thing. And usually when you raise up what the issue is, the protagonist and the antagonist of a story is always in some type of entanglement. But for every finger you pointing back is one pointing back at you. And to uplift us in this country at a moment such as this, I share with you all on Saturday, I'm moderating right here at the Rainbow Push headquarters. The national headquarters is located right here in the city of Chicago. And I will be with Congressman Cleo Fields, President Stacey Davis Gates of the Chicago Teachers Union and Illinois Federation of Teachers. Alongside them, our first Black Speaker of the House, Emmanuel Chris Roach. In addition to that, our newest fierce leader, that's right, our CEO and President, Yusuf Jackson. And it is a house to be filled. All pun intended with Congressman Fields. He is coming straight out of Louisiana's 6th Congressional District, and they are not yielding. The fight is real. But Malcolm X spoke about this fight. And for all of the Negroes that's listening, I got a message just for you from Malcolm X as he talks about the defining moment of how to turn a Negro Black in America. We'll be back after this break. All right. So yeah, we can. Oh, my mic is cute.
More from Cleopatra coming up next on the Talk of Chicago, 1690
So yeah, Trinity.
WVON.
Dial
diabetes, high blood pressure,
married down the
family
path to right.
history of kidney failure,
Okay.
all
When
three
did you
put
join?
you at risk for kidney disease.
Now
We
2
are
years
at
ago.
increased
Okay.
risk and should
My
get
husband
screened.
and
This
I
is
are
host
still
LaDonna Ray.
Oh,
Every Tuesday in May at 3:30 p.m. during our health and wellness
It's a
campaign, the
newbie.
National Kidney
Hey, no, that's
Foundation
good.
of Illinois
Hey,
will talk with us
Hey.
about kidney health, treatment options, free health screenings, and more. Tune in Tuesdays at 3:30 p.m. and go get screened. Visit kidneymobile.org or call 312-321-1500. That's 312-321-1500. Have you checked out WVON's digital streaming network, Vaughn TV? It's everywhere on Roku, Apple TV Plus, Amazon Fire, on the WVON app, and at VON.TV. Vaughn TV, it's cultural content on purpose.
This is Kamini Khan, certified financial planner professional. For the past year, I've been on a mission to change lives and build wealth in our community. Together, we're changing the paradigm. This year, I'm back with a new series, Wealth Strategies, Money Talks. Join me every Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. on the Rufus Williams Show as we have thoughtful discussions around building wealth in our community. We'll discuss topics like investing, savings, tax strategies, retirement, and all things
So,
money.
Mayor, I
Yes,
was
that's
sharing with
Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. So
Christine.
set those
In
alarms.
addition to
Also,
having
be
you
sure to
today,
check
I'm
out the
also paying
podcast at
tribute to Malcolm X.
WVONwealthshow.com.
Komini Khan is a
So,
certified
Barack
financial
Obama,
planner professional with
101
Optimal
Heavenly
Planning Partners
Birthday.
in Alliance.
Is that right?
Equitable
Is it
Advisors
101?
LLC member SIPC in Oak Brook, Illinois. For more information, please call 630-575-5046.
Yeah.
That is,
This Saturday on Meeting the Moment, we're talking digital risk and real-world impact. Because in today's
Mhm.
environment, it's not
And,
just about protecting your data.
I'm
It's about
actually
protecting your
moderating
message and
over
your
at
credibility.
Push
Adrian Ball of Project Sincere
Saturday.
joins
So
us to
we
break
have
down how
Congressman
organizations can
Fields
manage
coming
risk
up
in a
from
digital world
Louisiana,
that never
and
slows
it's all
down.
about the
Tune in this
redistricting.
Saturday at 12 noon for Meeting the Moment, powered by the Chicago Community
Speaker
Trust,
will be
right
there.
here on 1690 WVON.
Teachers Union President.
Attention shoppers, after 65
doing
years,
double
Sid's
work.
Clothing and Hats is hanging up their
So
hats.
your
And you're
show
invited
always
to the
starts at
retirement
9:30?
sale of a
9.
lifetime.
Oh,
Now through May
9.
30th,
Okay.
everything in the
Yeah, I
store
built
is
us up.
one massive
You
discount.
my
That's every
hot
hat,
too.
every cap,
Oh,
and every
yeah.
accessory.
Somebody
It's our
told me. I
biggest
was like,
sale ever,
"Oh,
with prices you have to see to
Oh,
believe.
yeah.
Visit Sid's
But
today at
folks
609
listen.
West
I
Roosevelt. While
actually
hats
didn't even
last
make a
and
promo
stock
for
is
them, and they
moving
just
fast,
listened to the
you'll
whole
find
show.
styles you
I
love
made a
at prices
promo
you'll
with the
adore. Hurry in,
helicopter.
retirement sale ends May 30th.
Yeah,
Sid's
I should
Clothing
do
and
that too.
Hats, where style meets savings. One last time.
I mean, it's actually kind of funny. I'm gonna have to play it for
Catch
you.
Reverend Al Sharpton online at WVON.com or on the WVON app. Just click the Al Sharpton banner. Tune in every day at 12 noon for your daily dose. And if you miss it, catch the overnight replay from midnight to 3 a.m. We're keeping it real with Al Sharpton on WVON 1690.
Reverend Al told you personally, keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real. This is Rufus Williams, and I've got something special for you. I am proud to announce that we're launching the Rufus Williams Travel Club in conjunction with Advantage International. Our first trip, we're staying in the United States and heading to one of the most stunning destinations for culture to cuisine. Join us October 8th through 12th as we explore
Now,
the
man, I
charm,
forgive you with
community,
this,
and the history of Charleston,
the
South
happy
Carolina.
camera.
This isn't your typical getaway.
Oh,
We'll take you through
well,
history
you know,
and
I can
standing
make
where our
up for
stories
it.
begin. From the roots of Gullah Geechee
Will
culture
that help?
to the
It's
International
good, huh?
African American Museum.
You
From
just love
cobblestone
them both, huh?
streets to
Got 2
waterfront
times to win.
views. This is more than a
And
trip.
only
It's a
thing I do
cultural
is wear
event.
socks.
To
I
find
don't
out
in the
more,
doctor.
visit WVON.com and click the Rufus
I
Williams
wear
Travel
socks.
Club banner. And keep listening
Yeah, I
for
got
more
on a pair of socks
details.
right
The
now.
Rufus Williams Travel Club will turn curiosity
Yeah,
into
really
understanding.
got it
One
done.
destination
I'll be
at a
walking around
time.
with
We are
my
WVON.
You gotta help me understand.
Wow.
WVON.
That's a good question. Well,
Travel times are pretty
my
quiet
daddy
still,
is
pretty much moving
graduate
along at
Fairview,
the
so
closest
I
speed
ran from
across
the
the
west
board.
side
We are
before we
tracking a
moved
couple
south.
incidents
Okay,
though.
now
Moved to
Right now
Bronzeville,
on the
so
southwest side,
I
Kinsey
miss
Avenue is
I
shut down
mean,
in
we
both
wasn't too
directions
far
from
from
64th to
Field
65th
and
Street.
WGN
That's due
stayed
to
on
some
me.
police activity.
TV.
CTA is rerouting the number
Like
52A
West
buses.
Yeah,
And on the
it's
north
their
side,
state,
at
and
North
that's where they
Avenue in
live.
Elston, you want to look out for an accident there. Now CTA is having to reroute
In
the
fact, I'm
westbound
actually going to
number
go to the game
72 North
tonight.
Avenue buses for now.
Taking a look at our
I'll
weather
talk
on the
over.
cloudy side of
That's why I
things,
saw you split.
however,
Yeah, you rock over.
temperatures are
Yeah.
climbing into the
Yeah,
70s.
so I'm
We're looking at a
actually
daytime high of
one of
around
the new faces of the
75.
Metro campaign,
It's
so I'm
60 at
recording
O'Hare,
Metro
60
when
in
I get out of
Woodlawn,
here.
and 60
And
degrees
I was
here
like, well,
at the
Steph
top
had
of
me
Chicago.
recording.
That's a look
I'm
at
on a
traffic and
choo-choo
weather
train.
now. I'm in
You ain't put your time to get off the 35th. I'm not going to ballpark. Y'all go find somebody else. I don't care what you paying me, what you talking about.
The talk of Chicago, 1690
WVON.
It's not hate
Are
to
you
say
up
that
for
we were kidnapped and brought here. It's true. It's not hate to say that we were Jim Crow, discriminated, and segregated. It's true. It's not hate to say that the Supreme Court, which is the highest court in this country, came up with a hypocritical desegregation decision 9 years ago, which they haven't enforced yet.
What are you talking about? It's not hate to talk about our history.
And since the American white man has used his control over the press and over the textbooks and over all forms of media to make it appear that he has done us a favor by bringing us here and enslaving us, then the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has to rewrite history or retell history. And since the white man can't dispute this truth, he tries to defend himself by saying that Mr. Muhammad is teaching hate.
Listen, guys, we are back. The time is 9:24. You're listening to the Cleopatra Show. And today I have a very special in-guest studio group with me. It's a whole group of. But I'm also paying homage to Malcolm X. He's about to embark upon 101 heavenly birthday. And what he's proclaiming, it is not true. It is not hate to talk truth. And how the psychological understanding of surviving while being Black in America will have you denounce your own truth to acquiesce to somebody else's comfort. I want us to think about that. So you got to put your thinking caps on. For everybody that was late, I accept your tardy pass. Because although it's funny clip Fridays, was that clip funny? No, it was very relevant. And my question of the day is, when you think about the message or messages of Malcolm X, what's relevant today? 773-591-1690. Now, I see you all in the chat. And I want to say good morning to Quintella, Charlene, Diane, Candy, Jamarley. Jamarley says he's watching from Cliff Walcott at the Twin Towers. Okay, in Walbury. Okay, I appreciate you checking in all the way from Walbury. Happy Friday to Lee. Ron Cotter. Good timing on the program of Malcolm X. Public meeting for Malcolm X Boulevard from Cottage Grove on his birthday, May 19th, from 6 to 9 at Coco. Okay, I see you all. Office at 4321 Malcolm X Boulevard, also known as Cottage Grove. So clearly, Ron is saying there's an initiative on the table, and I'm not sure if there's an ordinance yet, to petition to enhance what we know as Cottage Grove to be Malcolm X Boulevard. Never thought about that. What do you all think about that? At this point, when we watch what is happening both nationally and international, for some of you all that strayed away from not only Malcolm X, but a number of moments of opportunity to speak truth to power, do you regret it? Should you digress in terms of the shadow, this big orange shadow that looms from the public house, the People's House on 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue? Now, as we think about that, in light of that, I promised you all that Mayor Agpawa was going to stop by the Cleopatra Show. We had literally a week ago been examining proms. Just so happened it was on the top of my docket, and I thought it was most befitting for Funny Clip Fridays last week. And at the height of that was a horse and carriage ride. Rather expensive. It was an investment. Then my husband reminded me of the camel on the west side of Chicago. Forgot about the humpback camel. But then the conversation evolved to the investment Black families are making for this one moment in time and whether or not it was wise, particularly when college is around the corner. And as I've shared with you all, for 10 years of my career, I was post-secondary director, and I left with a $6 million portfolio of young people dispersed across the country. And one of the biggest acts to grind was the fight about prom because reality set the next day. Folk can't pay their rent, mortgage, let alone send their babies to school. I've seen whole plans thrown away because they cannot afford the transition from high school to college, and did not have a fiscal plan in place. So as a result of that, we kind of left it on the table. One caller called in and said how her daughter drew down her 401k, this outlandish stuff, right? So, in the evolution of that, I come to work Tuesday and it is presented across my desk of a helicopter. And I said, well, what about a helicopter? I'm talking to the team. A helicopter landed in the city of Markham. I said, okay, what about? No, you don't get it. It landed in the park, the park. So in this story, we've done some coverage about a mom, a black mom that wanted to give her baby or gift her baby an opportunity to have a helicopter be a part of the show. And if it was up to her, she would have flew away in it, but it was grounded because it was illegal, right? And the evolution of it wasn't just no anybody, right? And it dawned on me. I said, who is this woman? This woman served in some type of leadership role, something. And of course, she was affiliated with the Park District and executive director. So to have a title such as this, but could not comprehend why this was wrong was baffling to me, right? Especially from a leadership standpoint, particularly when you think about the Southland and the investment that is paid with the Black tax. Black folk, working Black folk, went to go find something greater. So they left the city to find something greater. So every blade on the grass that was cut has come at a price, not to mention the school, the environment, the air, the water, the everything. And it's not to say that we don't pay a pretty penny here in Chicago, because we definitely make it comfortable for everybody else but the people that live here. So I thought about the Southland leadership. And of course, Mayor Agpawa came to mind, and he serves as the mayor of Markham. And I have this love for Markham because Markham holds my roots. So I had to give Mayor Agpawa a call because from a public safety standpoint, I kind of knew that was a no-no. And of course, I look up and of course he's saying, no, not today. So I have Mayor Agpawa in the studio with me. Alongside him is his village manager. So I've seen the village manager also speak out on this, but I thought that this was a perfect opportunity to talk about how heavy that Black tax is in the Southland. So Southlanders, when you get an opportunity, because I know you all about to call 773-591-1690, we're going to go there. We're going to talk about the prom send-off, why this was a public safety issue, but beyond that, the issues that are permeating, that are percolating out of the Southland, and how hard it's been for Black families to hold tight. Buckle up, Buttercup. We'll be back after this break. Thank you.
Cloudy but warmer, temperatures climbing into the 70s. Good morning, I'm in Illinois, and here's what's happening. The Chicago Fire Department warns a 30-year veteran firefighter who died during an afternoon training session on the north side. It is still unclear what happened or exactly how the firefighter died. But according to the firefighter union officials, Stephen Decker worked for Engine 71 on the city's far north side in Westridge, and that on Thursday, the 61-year-old passed away during a mandated training session involving some somewhat strenuous movements such as holds and levers in the 6600 block of North
So
Kensington.
not only Mayor
Decker
Agpawa and I
apparently was
connected
admired
through
for his work and commitment.
my husband,
Now,
that
firefighter
came
Decker
later.
is the second
Yeah.
Chicago
You was
firefighter to
through
die
all
this
my
year.
mama's
In March,
siblings.
32-year-old firefighter Michael Altman
That's
passed
Chris.
away.
You call him
Well,
Jake the
South
Snake.
suburban Calumet
TV.
City Mayor Thaddeus Jones is
Theodore.
now reacting
So
to
my
accusations
family,
of
24 of them
using
that
his
grew up right
city
there on
issue credit
Winchester.
card to
My
pay for
mother's mother was
thousands of
Flint.
dollars worth of personal
So my
items.
family,
Perry Williams
Marcus is
reports.
all they know.
Yeah.
So my mother, she still frowned upon city people and been in the city at least more than half of my life.
Yeah.
He was a bad elected official.
That's
I've
right.
been in office and I brought
And
over
before
$900
it
million
was a
back to
draper,
my
it
district,
was a business.
$126 million to Calumet City. The Calumet City Council voted yesterday to require Mayor Jones to hand over
And we
receipts
still
with a
looking.
June
I'm gonna tell
deadline
you that
to
when I'm
prove the
gonna
money he
come out
spent
with this.
benefited taxpayers.
I don't know about
I'm
the
Perry
city.
Williams.
Come Monday, a dynamic group of business leaders, lawmakers, and expert community strategists will meet for a solutions town hall session to explore actionable solutions to combat some recent major issues affecting the Black community. WVON's Logan Page has more on the upcoming Chicago Urban League two-day forum.
Martin Morial, president and CEO of the National Urban League, is set to take part in a community town hall titled Moving Democracy from Theory to Practice in Chicago.
Oh, yeah. And so many times we have to stop ourselves because we have such a passion for trying to do for others. And it just don't work.
I concluded that after the second round, or the third, really. Once I knocked them off the ballot and made them run as a write-in after he said he could care less about the wrong.
The town hall will be held Monday, May 18th, 2026 from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. at the Empowerment Center. Their featured speakers include Karen Freeman Wilson, Monica Gordon, and Stephen Palace, focusing on civic engagement and community impact. Registration is required. Logan Page, R News Now, WVON 1690.
The future of Forest City Shopping Mall will now play out in court at the Daily Center. The city says the Southwest Side Mall should close over an unsafe, defective fire suppression system. However, one of just few of the tenants in the building is asking the court to keep it open. And legendary singer and producer Clarence Carter has died. The Southern soul pioneer was behind hits such as Patches and Smokin'. In a statement from his ex-wife, he died Wednesday night in a hospice near Atlanta, Georgia. The blind blues and soul singer was known for his raspy vocals and somewhat raunchy lyrics. He was 90 years old. That's a look at our news now on 1690 WVON. Traffic and weather up next. WVON News Time 9:34.
It's unfortunate.
When your body needs real nourishment, don't settle for ordinary supplements. At the Aloe Shop, we believe wellness starts with nature. That's why our premium aloe and nutritional products are crafted with the highest standards. Pure, potent, and made to support your health from the inside out, from digestion and energy to immune support. The Aloe Shop helps you feel your best every day. The Aloe Shop at 117 East 95th Street in Chicago. Call 866-256-3747 or reach us online at thealoeshop.com. Come on in and get healthy. Now available at Living Fresh Market in Forest Park and at Pete's Market throughout Chicagoland.
It's the afternoon show with Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Ray.
Congressman Jonathan Jackson on the line.
It's unbelievable. I've actually meant to scan it to my first send it to somebody. It looks bad. It looks bad.
Come on, Congressman. That's a great setup. Good.
It's the afternoon show with Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Ray. Weekdays at 3 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Yeah.
Maria Pappas with Black Houses Matter.
We're up to way over 400 million here. Yeah, give the money back. How about that? People in Bellwood got 10 million, Broadview 6 million, Burnham 3 million, South Holland 17 million. The city of Chicago up to $190 million that we have given back to African Americans. Who does that? Nobody does that but WVON.
Cook County Treasurer Maria Pappas with Black Houses Matter. Monday mornings at 11:30 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This report is brought to you by Metis Firm. Ready to upgrade to the perfect sleep setup? Let Metis Firm sleep experts guide you to the perfect bed at the Memorial Day sale. Top brands, ideal comfort, score unbelievable deals on both. Metis Firm, they make sleep.
But anyway,
WVON traffic and weather now.
Things are quiet along the expressways. These travel times are just for the passengers out there. As you make your way along the Ryan from 95th Street to downtown, you'll move along at the Postage Speed. We're seeing just some minor stop and go traffic in the usual spots, like from 39th Street to the Stevenson. Outbound Ryan, things are just fine. Nice and quiet still along the Bishop Ford, Tuskegee Airmen Memorial, and Dusago Lakeshore Driving Way. If you're on the Stevenson, just about a 30-minute trip in from I-355 to Dusago Drive, outbound things are fine. The inbound side of the Eisenhower very close to the closest speed with some minor stopping from Independence to Ashland. Outbound, no problems to report. In the Kennedy, a 30-minute trip from O'Hare to downtown, getting to the airport in 25 minutes. Taking a look at our weather on the cloudy side, but warmer. Temperatures are expected to climb into the 70s. 75 is our official high. 52 is our low tonight. We're up to 61 at O'Hare. It's 61 in Calumet Park and 61 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. As I look at traffic and weather now, I'm in Illinois on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Then what am I walking into? Now, and
now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
hey, when you get a chance, can you play his promo, the helicopter?
And I'll play it on the next break.
Okay. And listen, guys, we are back. The time is 9:39, and live and in the studio with me is Mayor Agpawa. That's right, Roger Agpawa of the city of Markham. Alongside him is the city administrator, Derek Champion. And listen, guys, when we come back from this break, we're going to play a promo that I dedicated to you all with the fantastic support and help of Titus and I and the team, the TCS team, to put this message together, because it was almost unbelievable. Like, I had to read it, and then I watched the video a couple times, because I literally was just discussing prom, and it just came to me as I was programming for Funny Clip Fridays last week. You know, it's always an Achilles heel for me in my life as a educator, former educator now, that I'm always troubled by what we invest in. So I played this clip of this brother that was kind of going in about, you know, you do what you do. If you pull up with the Beamer Benz, the Bentley with the Superman doors, and, you know, the money talk on the phone, a stack of money, or Manolos and Gucci loafers, and you know good and well a car like that should be pulling up in front of a house like that, you do that. That's fine. But what you're not going to do is send me a double good popcorn text message or a GoFundMe a week later. And I fell in love with the message, because the message is what I was saying 15 years ago. And here we are. We just keep up in the ante. And I'm always wondering, who are we competing with? Like, and is it a self-desire? So I came to the conclusion, when I really gave thought to how do we get to a helicopter, I said, ain't no baby I've ever met, especially a young person, that said, hey, mommy, put me on the helicopter, right? Like, maybe back in my Inspector Gadget days, you know, but I could not believe a young person would come up with that idea. I said, so I instantly started to think about the parent. And it wasn't for me to blame anybody, but literally, when I saw the interview, I said, oh, this is a public safety concern, because I saw folks ducking and dodging, you know, as a helicopter was literally landing on the Park District grounds with no helipad. And I had to give you a call. So I want to welcome Mayor Roger Agpawa to the Cleopatra Show. How are you, Mayor?
Good, Cleopatra. Thank you for having me this morning. I appreciate being here with the WVO listeners and
it's fine.
Your show.
No, I appreciate it. So talk to us. You have been in the city of Markham for how long?
About 61 years now. Well, no, longer. Sorry, about 64 years now.
So practically all your life.
My whole life.
Wow. Yeah. And with that being said, you have risen in a unique way. Talk to us about your journey to mayoralship.
Well, the journey actually begins so much more before that. Obviously, being in a community raised in Markham, and playing baseball in the streets as kids do, and then it goes further to where you kind of stumble across things in the community, and I start serving as a fireman, and go to fire chief, and you get to know the community, you live there and love the community and serve people, and then you get drafted to go further in leadership, and that's where it came into for me to run as mayor, and so that whole journey actually was even that much more unique because it turned from somewhat from ashes to beauty, if you will, for me and many other people to Markham that had a chance to turn around a community together, and we did that journey together, and here we are almost 9, 10 years later, in my third term, to try to make Markham a better place as I once knew it as a child playing baseball in the streets.
So I think, when I hear your story, and I've spent some time with you through the years, leadership has always been at the front of your cerebral, and is not a guiding stick. I just honestly think that's just a part of your makeup, if I can say that about you, to you. And I think is a natural element about you that I feel is authentic. And I've spent a lot of time with a lot of electoral leaders that we have elected, and oftentimes they're straight up politicians. Very few are electoral leaders in terms of just a vision, a guiding stick. So, what are your guiding principles? I know you have been around long enough to know what it used to be and the fruition, but what guides you?
Well, I think that everybody has their moments alone somewhere. Character isn't, to me, I've always said it's not when other people are around, it's when people aren't around. And so I've kind of come out of that. You have places where you're raised in life, man is only good as his word is no good, the man's no good. So your credit is your word, it's your bond. And some people, they take that a little different, especially if the word didn't go good for them for me. But it worked for me coming
true.
up, and I know what it means, regardless of whether it appeared it didn't work for them. But those are the things that you do when you have different things that you strive for. I've been in the community long enough to know where the mistakes were made, and so for me, it's somewhat an advantage as well as it's heartbreaking to see a community that didn't have to go in some places as it did, and I have other neighboring communities the same way. In the Southland, it's difficult for a whole lot of reasons. It's not all that it should be, but I think the honesty of realizing that that the problems are somewhat, I look at Southland, they're self-inflicted, and if we reckon with it, then that's where you start. Your basis is to realize that you have an issue or a problem. And oftentimes, we typically don't do that. We point the finger somewhere else, or we don't want to be accountable for it. We don't want to be responsible for it. We don't want to, we don't want to take that on. And so, if you're honest about where it's not working, you're able to rebuild it. When you look at it, it's not comfortable. And then there's different places in government. I know that for being in government, I have an enemy to tell people, no, we can't do that. Is it comfortable for me as a human being who doesn't want to be comfortable and have someone like them or anything else? But that isn't what you're in government for.
Mhm.
That isn't how you lead. You have to tell others things they don't want to necessarily hear. So once you get past that, then you can do the work, and you can try and find some peace with that. And again, there's places that we all have to have a quiet place with ourselves somewhere about what we believe in and what we serve and what we think empowers us. And I'm respectful to what other people believe, but I know what privately works for me and what I believe in. And that's what I practice. And, I'm a confessing. I confess to be a Christian, so it works for me. It may not work for somebody else, and they may not think that at all when they see me or what I tell them they can't do.
And before we go to break, uniquely, what I've already learned and knew many years ago is Southland, not just Southland, Chicagoland municipality governance is different. And I make sure to talk to my listening audience because I think we're programmed one way to think of civics. I'm not asking, can you recite the preamble? I'm not really interested in your understanding too much on amendments if you cannot understand local politics. And too often we really truly are not honest about our real understanding about governance. You mentioned government, and I always talk about governance because my stakes are greater in governance because now you're understanding how the city works, how the county should function, how the state should be a feeder tube, and how the federal government is responsible for the big baby, right? The big American baby that'll be 250 years old. And ultimately, I stumbled across the clip of Malcolm X of somebody talking about why he really was assassinated because he began to teach the black man how to think in terms of how America should function. And I said, uh-oh, am I in trouble? So when we come back, you have a city administrator, right, that works in conjunction with you, but in service to the city residents of Markham. And that functionality is slightly different than how we operate in the city of Chicago, right? Because our presiding mayor is the president of a body of 50 alders, right? And you have alder people, but your city administrator serves in a different capacity and he's here. So when we come back, I'm going to welcome your city administrator to educate our listening audience. How do you work in tandem with Mayor Agpawa and then your responsibility to the city of Markham? And when we come back, we're going to talk to Administrator Champion when we come back. You don't want to miss this.
Next, on the Talk of Chicago aren't just good, they're roaring. Hi, I'm Harry Malone, Vice President and Community President of
Yes,
United Fidelity.
because what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the promo to 10. And then backstory
That's a
of
strong, steady way to help your money grow with confidence. From the very first day, we know you have options when it comes to where to save. That's why we focus on something bigger than numbers alone. When you bank with us, you're choosing a team that takes the time to understand what matters to you and supports your financial goals with guidance that feels personal, not that. We're your local banking partner.
you all function, I'm sorry, you all function so differently. A lot of people think they understand, but they really truly don't. Right? And it's much different than how we move in a city. Yeah, our city is bigger, but yeah, all the people got this, you got that. So when the story first broke, people were still trying to blame me and say, anyhow, no, he didn't, right? You all have a different body that is responsible. So what I was trying to educate the audience about is, in the city of Chicago, that our part district is a sister agency, right? So that's how I imagine, right? And then there was a different board. Yeah, I peeped that stuff out to remind myself, but I watched a number of interviews and I got to read it. So all of this comes from the governance. So just because it's a different entity does not mean that it's not governed by your municipal rules. So you all have some rules.
So we do. One of the things that we're working on, and Derek will probably
Adrian Ball of Project Sincere joins us
is
to break
that
down how
I'm probably
organizations can manage risk in a digital world that never slows down. Tune in this Saturday at 12 noon for Meeting the Moment, powered by the Chicago Community Trust, right here on 1690
So Derek is
WVON.
really a true
Protect your money and build your wealth. Sundays at 3 p.m. Host and owners of Top and Top Insurance Agency, Kleindale and Betty Top, teach you about protecting your assets, 401ks, annuities, life after retirement, the differences and benefits of life insurance, and they take questions. Their advice can enhance your financial future and your legacy. Call for a free WVON financial consultation, 773-881-8110. Tune in Sundays at 3 p.m. to protect your money and build your wealth. Powered by Top and Top Insurance Agency.
who have this, and so Markham
If you have a 2004 or newer vehicle that's out of warranty or about to be, Endurance is urgently notifying U.S. drivers about their low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save drivers thousands on rising vehicle repair costs. Those who qualify can pick their plan, coverage, and repair shop, roadside service, towing, and rental cars included. All covered repairs get paid directly to the repair shop for you. Call now for your free quote. Call 800-295-6576. 800-295-6576.
I've tried everything to stand out at work. Donuts, a company coffee plant, even dressed as the company mascot for Halloween.
There's an easier way. A ComEd facility assessment. Their engineer gave my company free insights and actions that saved us $732,000 on energy. Easy, right?
Learn how ComEd can help you save at ComEd.com/facility assessment. ComEd, powering lives. Savings will vary based on customers' usage and rate.
We have to treat it as such. So we can take care of how we work.
WVON, traffic and weather now.
No changes to your travel time. Still pretty light on most expressways. However, we are tracking a new accident. It is on the outbound side of Stevenson at Markham. Right now, there's no report of any lane blockage. Traffic still moving along just fine. And also on the southwest side, Kenzie's remains shut down between 65th and 64th place. That's due to police activity. The CTA currently is rerouting the number 52A buses in both directions. Taking a look at our weather on the cloudy side, but warmer, temperatures climbing into the 70s. 75 is our official high. We're hovering right now, still right around.
Always appears to be greener in white suburbia.
61 degrees at Midway, is 61 in Calumet Park, and 61 here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm in Florida on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Absolutely.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
All roads go back to
And it's also honesty.
that too.
And I'll tell you what that means.
And we are back. The time is 9:54. You're listening to the Cleopatra Show. And of course, it's Funny Clip Fridays. I'm going to bring something funny. Trust me. Meanwhile, we're breaking down how governance works. And we're looking at it from the lens of the Southland. Right here in the city of Markham, who's hanging out with me in the studio is Mayor Roger Agpawa. And alongside him is his administrator, Derek Champion. And I was, leaning towards your role to leadership, Mayor. And then, of course, the connectivity of governance and your administrator and your role of how you operate. So, Administrator Champion, thank you so much for hanging out with us. So please enlighten my listening audience to how you came to be.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Good morning, Chicago, and especially to the Southland. Once again, name is Derek Champion. Just a little bit of backstory, Cleopatra, about how I, started in state government. Started as public affairs manager with the Illinois Comptroller's Office. From there, I migrated to the Department of Commerce. That was my end goal. That's where the largest economic engine in the state is. That's where the money flows. I wanted to always be around where the money is being sent out to. So I went over as the African American Business Development Manager. So my job was to help Black businesses that wanted to start or grow their business, whether that was through grant opportunities, through participation loan programs like Advantage Illinois with the Department of Commerce. And there was a sub-program called FAME, Funds for Advancing Minority Entrepreneurship, where there's the Black Caucus passed some legislation where there's a 2% fixed interest rate on those dollars. From there, I got promoted to Deputy Director over the Office of Minority Economic Empowerment. So I was over that protected class in the state. So of course, that protected class are Blacks, Hispanics, disabled women, and our veteran population. Served under that administration, the Pritzker administration, as well as the previous administration. I sat on the Business Enterprise Council under two governors. Went over to, after my time was up, my assignment was up with the state, I went over to the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District. And that's when Amazon was building the largest Amazon Robotics Fulfillment Center in the country, right in Markham. Of course, that was, my backstory. I met the mayor when I was on the state level because I worked in every city and town, probably in the state, from Cairo to Decatur to East St. Louis, Rockford, Peoria, the Southeast, West Side, Low Village, Pilsen. So I covered a lot of territory getting grant dollars out. And Stephanie Hart, for example, Brown Sugar Bakery is one of the recipients of the funding and the outreach that I was doing at the time. And she was able to secure Cupid candies at the time. So I was really, really excited about that. And she's just one of many stories of seeds that were planted with some of the funding that I was over at the state, because I was the only Black deputy director. And the one thing that people do not know, Cleopatra, is that when you are over a program office, you get to set the criteria for your grant dollars. So I was very intentional on how the funding was going to be dispersed. So I said you have to be in a low to moderate income community in order to receive those grant dollars. So once that assignment, like I mentioned, was over, the mayor was looking for a city administrator. Markham didn't have a city administrator at the time. And I was just fortunate to have a relationship with the mayor, but more importantly, getting money out in the street prior to leaving state government and now coming into the city of Markham and having to do this hard reset. Because I think I told the mayor, I said, Mayor, in order for us to change the culture here, we have to reset this culture here. And things have been really moving forward. I know having Amazon as a community partner, we had to pull them to the table to talk about community benefit agreements, and helping out with our schools, because that's where it should start at. Helping out with some infrastructure needs, redeveloping our firehouses, also painting our water tower, resetting our street lights where we can now have holiday lights, but just holding our community partners accountable as well. So coming in, I know the mayor probably didn't mention, well, I don't think he mentioned this, but Markham was a little bit over $10 million in debt. The main thing that we had to get in order was our audits, because you cannot receive a state or federal grant without having your audits in order. So you have to be compliant with GATA, that's the Grants Accountability Transparency Act, which holds individuals accountable, right?
Pause right there. Yes. Pause right there. Because you've said a lot in terms of you pretty much was a blessing in disguise. You were the bow to a package that the mayor needed to open to sustain and restart, push the restart button to activate the city that he truly wanted to bring to life. And as an administrator, you came with a lot of skills, my taking voice, a lot of special skills that reset Markham. And you all have been running together how long now?
It's been it'll be 6 years, August 5th at 8:59 a.m.
The dream team is in the building with me, and he said that with a serious face, guys. When we come back, I am going to play the promo that spoke to how I wound up tapping the mayor, because Markham normally flies under the radar. You all do your work, don't bother nobody until something happens. And I was like, oh, even though I'm always looking at the Southland because I need that third airport. When we come back, I'm going to play this clip, and I want you all to respond to what happened about a week ago. You don't want to miss this.
Warm temperatures going up to 75 on this Friday, May 15th, 2026. I'm in Illinois and in the headlines because of the new federal work rules and recent cuts to the SNAP food program. A local grocer is planning on giving away food this weekend. South Suburban Calumet City Mayor Thaddeus Jones is now reacting to questions about accusations of an exorbitant amount of personal charges to his city credit cards. And the future of Ford City Shopping Mall will play out in court at the Daily Center. National news from the Black Information Network is next on the iHeartRadio app at 1690 AM WVON.
Like you're a robot, right? So they'll never comprehend.
They don't know about the labor pains you have to go through to get to where you are. They just see the babies, right?
All right, but even when they see the baby, who's gonna take care of the baby? They don't even want babies to the baby. And this is where they say, no, for real. I had to understand, even though I'm not seated, and I internalized how thankless it is. It's so thankless, it hurt. It is the most, it's the worst case, because you want so much, right? So if you can hear this, folks gonna tune out for just a little moment. It's beyond Facebook, right? The hours, right? Yeah, I mean, well, people, I may not be seated, but this foolishness I just showed you, that's just enough. It offends me. I get angry. I've learned, I thank God for the moment of just being able to find an opportunity to plug and talk and do it. And maybe this is my fault, maybe this is my sign, but I feel like it's not enough. Because I don't know if I'm making it.
Vice President J.D. Vance is leading the administration's crackdown on fraud and says it may not stop there.
For those states that refuse to get serious about fraud, we're going to turn off that anti-fraud money, and if we continue to find problems, we can turn off other resources within their state Medicaid programs as well.
Vance clarified that the government is withholding Medicaid fraud enforcement payments that states should be using to police fraud, not withholding people's benefits. California officials responded by saying the deferral is politically motivated and could harm programs for seniors and people with disabilities. Medi-Cal, California's Medicaid program, will cost about $222 billion next year, covering over 50 million people. That's more than a third of the state. The administration is warning all 50 states that if they do not take stronger action against Medicaid fraud, they could lose federal funding. As of last year, Black Americans represented between 20 and 21% of all Medicaid enrollees in the United States. The Louisiana Senate has passed a Republican-backed congressional map that eliminates one of the state's two Black majority districts.
So this is how you're able to, and this is what we often don't do.
Senator Jay Morris, but Black House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries is undeterred.
So he said all of these years, and I don't need to argue. That's not my stage.
The Democrats have taken back control of the House of Representatives. That's ultimately going to be, what matters.
Morris says the congressional districts are drawn to reflect politics, not race. He says the map is essentially the same as the one that was used in the 2022 election. The DOJ says admissions policies of Yale University's medical school tip the scales in favor of prospective Black and Hispanic students over white and Asian applicants. This marks the second medical school the Trump administration's Justice Department has accused of discrimination in admissions. Earlier this month, the DOJ claimed the medical program at the University of California, Los Angeles had a similar admissions policies. The Justice Department said its investigation of Yale University documents found Black and Hispanic students had a better chance of being admitted than white and Asian students with similar test results. Beyonce's Single Ladies, along with music by Ray Charles, Gladys Knight, and the Pimps, and the original cast album of Chicago are all just some of the latest recordings to be managed in the Library of Congress National Recording Registry. The library has announced 25 recordings being managed with collection audio being preserved for future generations. The inductees representing the nation's artistic, cultural, and historic heritage span genres such as jazz, R&B, pop, and Broadway, as well as radio and video games. Single Ladies was one of only two selections making the list from the 21st century. Stay informed to stay connected and subscribe.
Because I'm not used to that in the city, right? To the point that I'm making it does play heavy, right? And you do have a car to play, because you ain't in there. The little time I was there, people said, they took their wagon to a wagon, I was like, wait a minute, this was Algeria train, and there's nothing but a blank. So I thought calling y'all the brain thing, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, we're definitely.
No, then I get it, right? But on a dream thing, there is a dream that you have. You know, I'm always like somebody's future campaign stuff, right? And what does that dream come out? You can't start having, you know that. You keep learning that with the Clark. That's why we got rest of Madam President,
Apple TV Plus, the
WVON
WVON app, and
so in that dream thing, you gotta.
We got discussions going on, in place, and the biggest one that we listen to is the forum.
on your
Yeah.
favorite
Well,
WVON
you know what?
personality.
Even if we didn't get them, hey, listen, even if we didn't get them,
Friday
the
night was
succession
celebrating
plan is
55 years
having,
of Alligator Records.
because
Tribute
if you
to
take it to
Coco
young
Taylor,
alders,
Lonnie
and we'll
Brooks,
still see
Outlaw
some
Tim,
older
and
business.
Chris Stone, Pete
Because
Bishop.
here's the deal, if the
Saturday,
government,
bringing
former
75
government is
years
correcting the
of
market,
blues to the
then
main
it
stage,
doesn't turn
featuring
back.
Chicago's own
It
Billy
is not
Graham, Kenny
easily
Neal, and
disrupted.
Ronnie Baker Brooks.
And
And we'll
that's
close out
really
the
why,
weekend
if you
on
look at
Sunday
successful
with the
communities,
legendary
and,
Taj Mahal and
and
the
I'm telling everybody,
a special
every
tribute to
month or
women
every
that
community
blues
meeting,
featuring
to
Lynn
get
Jordan,
rid of me in that
Shimmer,
regard. Not get rid of me. Get rid of me in the regard
Keep
that I
listening
stand.
for Chance
Because
to
it's
Win,
not
an
good for the
exclusive
future.
VIP
It's not
Blues
healthy.
Fest
And they say, did you
experience.
just say
For
that?
more
I said,
information,
yeah. I said,
visit
I got too much money and I got too much time.
www.com/events.
Let's
Brought to
end
you
this
by
now.
Brandon
While
Johnson
you hear
and
somebody
Deacon.
tell you that gets it. Because the next person might not be that kind. They might be that guy that gets the
Diabetes,
barbecue.
high blood pressure,
You know,
and family
that
history
said
of
the
kidney
barbecue.
you'll
failure
see
all
on the
three
back
put
of
you
the
at risk for
thing,
kidney
not only
disease.
the
We are at
barbecue,
increased
but
risk
the
and should
book
get
bag
screened. This is
giveaway.
host
What's
LaDonna
that
Ray
food
every
say?
Tuesday in May at 3:30 p.m.
No,
during our Health
seriously.
and Wellness
Yeah,
campaign.
Juneteenth
The
block
National Kidney
party. The
Foundation of
back to school
Illinois
is
will
Oh,
talk
in
with
the
us
resource
about
center.
kidney health,
So
treatment options, free
I
health
mean,
screenings, and more. Tune
what?
in Tuesdays at 3:30
Yeah,
p.m.
but
and go
who?
get
Let's
screened.
speak to a
Visit
class.
kidneymobile.org or call
I don't
312-321-1500.
even
That's
allow that
312-321-1500.
stuff in the community anymore. You know, I don't do that stuff. I don't allow that stuff. Stop that
Every
stuff.
Sunday, now
If you
you'll
want
be
a
able
box
to
of
listen
food,
to the First
go
Church
to
of
the
Deliverance
township.
here
You don't
on
do it.
1690
Right, but
WVON
Thornton,
and on
Thornton,
the iHeart
Bobby
Radio
mentioned
app at
he got
11
nothing to
p.m.
consider.
Tune in for
I'm
inspirational
seeing
music,
Thornton boxes in
powerful
my
word,
house.
and a blessing from
Yeah,
the
I'm
Lord.
not
That's the
go
First
to
See,
Church of
people don't
Deliverance,
be in the
Grandma
Sundays at 11
Thornton,
p.m.
but
right
in
here on
order,
the Talk
I
of
let him
Chicago,
talk.
I don't
1690
want
WVON.
them to
Follow us at
find the fossils in Markham with
fcdchicago.org.
everybody keeps routed out with some nonsense. Because that's what you'll
This
find.
report is brought to you by Summit
If I
Racing.
would have
Summit Racing
participated
has
the
the
same
parts,
foolishness
tools, and
that
accessories
the
to keep
previous
your
people
To
ride
did
your
before.
Summit
point,
Road
all I
Trip
see
ready.
is
You'll find everything
games,
for pre-trip
raffles,
maintenance and
food,
essentials like
book bag
emergency roadside
giveaway.
kits. Shop summitracing.com and
And
When
it's
the
enroll in
not
our
last
a
rewards
time,
program to
even.
get more power in
so
every purchase.
I'll do that. Soon as they tell me when Kenny
WVON, traffic and weather.
then I'll go back to
A perfect time to
in the
run your
summer.
errands. We're looking at
So
light traffic across the board. As you make your way
the
along
west
the Ryan,
suburbs,
the Bishop
doing
Ford,
this
Tuskegee
foolishness,
Airmen Memorial, and
passing out
DuSable
that
Lakeshore
garbage
Drive,
and stuff
you'll
like
move along
that,
at the
and
closest
keeping
beach
people
each way.
weak,
The Stevenson,
then I'm fine
Eisenhower,
about
and
that.
Kennedy,
But
all
until
pretty
then,
light
we
right now.
won't do that.
Taking a look at our
You got the
weather, we're
wrong
seeing some
community
cloudy skies, but warmer. The National Weather Service just, however, reset our high and low for today. We're now looking at a high of 76 and a low of 51 tonight. We're up to 61 in
Normally,
Midway,
the
it's
community
61 at
comes
Rainbow
get you in
Beach,
the
and 61 degrees here at the top of Chicago.
I mean, but
That's
it's
the
to
traffic and
your
weather now.
point.
I'm in Illinois on the top of
It
Chicago,
hurts me.
1690 WVON.
Yeah.
And every so often you might have some people that ask,
Yes.
but
Live from the Xfinity Studios at WVON, it's the Cleopatra Show on Chicago's essential storyteller, 1690 WVON.
It's Fired Up Wednesday on the Cleopatra Show, and I'm pouring some piping hot cinnamon spice tea for us to sip. It's a bird. It's a plane. Nope, it's a prom helicopter. We're talking about prom send-off in the city of Markham that has everybody buzzing after a helicopter touches down in a public park. Did your house shake? Dishes shatter? On camera, we watched basketball players take cover. Look out. Did this put the residents of Markham at risk? What happened to borrowing your cousin's car, taking pictures in the living room, or even splitting the cost of a corsage? Has social media turned prom into the Met Gala for teenagers? Apparently, pulling up in a Honda is not enough anymore. You don't want to be late for class. Tune in Wednesday, only on the Cleopatra Show. And listen, guys, the time is 10:10. You're listening to the Cleopatra Show, of course. It's Funny Clip Fridays. Live and in the studio is the city of Markham government. That's right. I have Mayor Roger Agpawa with me, alongside him, Administrator Derek Champion. And I wanted you all to hear the promo that we ran because, you know, folks ran back to some of you all. You heard some of the iterations of what the vibrations of what we were raising here because it was practically unbelievable. My team and I, we processed it and we said, oh, okay. You know, we're going to have this conversation, but it was an economic conversation. So, Administrator Champion, you approve of this message. In terms of Black America, how are we pulling up? You know, how are we investing in a moment where the grift keeps grifting on the
top of the ticket. And I'm talking about the federal level when we look at the cabinet. And we are constantly splurging in a way that whether you have it or you don't, why? And then two, public safety. As as a leader, as an organizer, that was the first thing I thought about. And I was mortified when I listened to the Park District Executive Director really say, with all sincerity, she didn't see anything wrong with it. Now, I cannot judge what substance was in her hand when she said it, but then when I watched a future clip of her, dressed and walking and talking with the press, she said it again. And I guess if you say it a couple times, then it reigns some levels of truth, depending on who is detecting it. So I was concerned because we're already constantly talking about the leadership that we elect that we don't want to not hire, but you continue to rescind them. And then those that are in other positions of power that are not elected into the positions of power and the responsibility or the lack thereof. So then I stumbled across the administrative champions interview. I had already spoke to Mayor Agpawa, and he looked like he was on business and was not backing down from the position of the city of Markham. And that's how I knew Mayor Agpawa had the right man. So, Administrator Champion, what is your response um, to our listening audience of this act that transcended, that again put the city of Markham on a national map for a moment?
Yeah, first of all, I want to tell you, I like the promo, and you mentioned it's like the Met Gala for teenagers, and it's turned into more of a production now, right? I was listening to a news segment a couple of days ago. It looked like there was some type of near West Side shop that was broken into, and it was like prom dresses, and then they were interviewing this one female that was affected by the break-in. She said she spent $16,000 on a dress and maybe a suit or something, and I'm like, man, this is what prom has really turned into. Where I would rather have that money invested in some type of IRA or something, and they can really invest that. But I just think it's turned into a production, and as you can see what happened in Markham, Cleopatra, it has turned into public safety issues. There was some young man that used a jet recently across the country. I forgot what I saw on social last week, and it just seemed like things are just getting out of control. And somebody has to speak up. I think the mayor, I speak for the mayor as well. We think that kids should be celebrated, but I'm wondering how many of these kids have good grades though too.
I mean, it's a combination of things, but to the point about, so then the gift kept giving. I did stumble across my desk the prom dress nightmare debacle, where this woman who was taking all of this money, but you can't take money. It was given to her with an expectation to provide a good of sales, and dresses in the thousands, right, for a teenager, and ultimately the mindset. So here it is, Mayor Agpawa, as I look at you, and maybe you too, Administrator Champion, what's the average property taxes in the city of Markham?
Well, we have it can vary, but they can go as low as 5,000-7,000 in some areas of the city. We have some homes that could go up to 15.
15. So anywhere between 5 to 15 for Black folks to find quality of life in city of Markham. And I smile about Markham because it's special to me, right? Is the birthplace of where my mother and my family is from, and my grandparents decided to build a life there, right? And they weren't alone. Your family did it. Many families continue to do it. And yet and still, when I think about, thank you, when I think about the struggle of property taxes in the Southland, I've knocked some doors that way and met some folk that have paid for their house a couple times. Okay. So when I think about public safety, I'm also thinking about the investment of how do you stabilize a community where Black folks are just trying to hold on to what they have poured into. And then we have these moments where I too am in the stands with you. I'm not saying don't celebrate your child, but think about the betterment of the impact of how you celebrate your child when it comes to the entire city of Markham. What do you say in this moment, Mayor Agpawa,
Well,
to that act?
one of the things that, just comes to mind about it, first of all, for us to be here talking about this, we could be talking about a lot of other things that, clear from, how you're celebrating Malcolm X right now, and things that matter that much more for our community, instead of having to talk about over sensationalizing a prom or a prop to a prom. And what have we gotten away over that issue? The issue was to celebrate the graduate that was going to go somewhere and celebrate and have a good dinner and dress up and say, hey, this is your moment because you've been successful in school and we're proud of you, and and everybody in family comes around it. But it's not that. It's a production, and it's an unnecessary production in some places. I mean, see, you'll have 6 of these and a half a dozen of those when it comes to these things, and what people say about, well, it's my money and do what I want. But let's be real. I said something about being honest, but by the same token, we may have somebody that come to City Hall and say, well, can you work something out so we can do something with the water bill, or different things that, for vital or essential things or needs, we kind of get away from some of that. And it's not always that. It doesn't take a prom to do that. There's other things that lead up to these things that we're not honest about, and that's what I said a little bit earlier about, what sometimes even what we deal with in government, that still lend itself to this issue is that we like when people knock at the door sometimes and how they look at government, and unfortunately how we do culturally, like it's the hookup. It's not the hookup. It's a business form. We have to personalize it and keep some flesh on it when we talk to people, because we don't want to dehumanize anybody. But we're running business for people to make sure that we do keep lower taxes. We do run good business. We've been able to, just all the things that Mr. Champion said, stabilize government over the last several years to have overcome a behemoth amount of debt, and then stabilize a community, and then change bond ratings that haven't been done in decades for a community. But that means nothing to some people, because we're focusing on the wrong things.
Hold that thought. We're focusing on the wrong things. You're listening to Mayor Roger Agpawa of the city of Markham. And listen, guys, when we come back, the phone lines are yours, 773-591-1690. Now, I got a caller that said he loved the helicopter, and I want to hear what he has to say, but I also want to hear from you all. And in the chat, I see a comment that is actually kind of funny. So when we come back, Adria, I see you. I'll take your calls and more. You don't want to miss this.
More from Cleopatra coming up next on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Hi, I'm Lori Smith, host of Meeting the Moment. WVON, in partnership with the Chicago Community Trust, developed Meeting the Moment to amplify the voices of nonprofits across Chicagoland, giving them the communication tools they need to expand their reach and turn awareness into action. Right now, our communities are facing real challenges, from economic uncertainty to public safety to access and equity. But in the middle of it all, there are organizations doing the work, quietly, faithfully, powerfully. With Meeting the Moment, we'll have honest conversations about the issues shaping our region, and more importantly, the solutions happening on the ground. And each week, we'll feature a Chicagoland nonprofit making a difference. You'll hear their story and find out how you can support their work. Because Meeting the Moment is about more than just awareness. It's about impact. Join the Meeting the Moment movement, a program designed for the doers. For more information, visit WVON.com/meetingthemoment. Listen every Saturday at 12 noon, right here on WVON 1690, the Talk of Chicago. Let's meet the moment together. Powered by the Chicago Community Trust. This summer, we're taking our streets back with peace. The faith community of St. Sabina is calling on the entire city to stand together for the Summer Peace Takeover. Friday, June 5th at 7 p.m. Join thousands of Chicagoans for a powerful rally and march for peace featuring special guest, Chicago's own Chance the Rapper. Meet us at St. Sabina, 1210 West 78th Place as communities from across the city come together with one message. Enough is enough. Let's uplift our neighborhoods, empower our youth, and show the nation what unity in Chicago looks like. The first 1,000 people will receive free t-shirts to bring your family, friends, church and neighbors. This isn't just a march, it's a movement. The Summer Peace Takeover, Friday, June 5th at St. Sabina. Peace starts with us. Chicago, be there.
Hi, I'm Travis Smiley, inviting you to join me weekdays from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here on WVON. I am bringing you a national perspective on all the happenings in the Black community and, of course, politics. It's talk radio for us, by us, and this is where America listens.
It's Travis Smiley, weekdays from 6 to 9 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Then we seriously have a problem.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions and insurance warranty. If you have a 2004 or newer vehicle that's out of warranty or about to be, Endurance is urgently notifying U.S. drivers about their low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save drivers thousands on rising vehicle repair costs. Those who qualify can pick their plan, coverage, and repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental cars included. All covered repairs get paid directly to the repair shop for you. Call now for your free quote. Call 800-295-6576. 800-295-6576.
This is Comedian Con, certified financial planner professional. For the past year, I've been on a mission to change lives and build wealth in our community. Together, we're changing the paradigm. This year, I'm back with a new series, Wealth Strategies Money Talks. Join me every Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. on the Rufus Williams Show as we have thoughtful discussions around building wealth in our community. We'll discuss topics like investing, savings, tax strategies, retirement, and all things money. Yes, that's Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. So set those alarms. Also, be sure to check out the podcast at WVON.wealthshow.com.
Comedian Con is a certified financial planner professional with Optimal Planning Partners and Alliance with Equitable Advisors LLC member SIPC in Oak Brook, Illinois. For more information, please call 630-575-5046.
You mean the guy that
This is Rufus Williams.
Yes,
And I got something
absolutely.
special for you. I am proud to announce that we're launching the Rufus Williams Travel Club in conjunction with Advantage International. Our first trip, we're staying in the United States and heading to one of the most stunning destinations for culture, tourism. Join us October 8th.
What I realized too is that that's what you mean by that. Like, I'm going to buy my time over here.
We're walking through history.
And that's the thing too. Because y'all got so many roles. That's the difference. But I also realize what those roles mean.
From cobblestone
Sometimes they
streets
just
to
look in
waterfront
depth.
views. This is more than a trip. It's a cultural
The
moment.
other
To
person
find out
that's
more,
over there
visit WVON.com and click the Rufus Williams Travel Club banner and keep listening for more details. The Rufus Williams Travel Club will turn curiosity into
So
understanding.
a whole
One
clan
destination
kind of waiting on
at a
you
time. We are
to
WVON.
Yeah, they're all looking at the news reports. He's freezing the person.
I mean, I knew it was something too because they were
Things
defiant
still look pretty
and they
good
were
on the
not
roadways.
remorseful.
We're seeing no major problems or
The
delays.
only hint of
As you make your way
sincerity I
from
saw,
Ryan,
was
Mission 4
the
to
only
King Air
hint of
Memorial
sincerity
and
I
just
really
Lakeshore
heard
Drive,
was in the
you're
mom,
pretty
and it was
close to
really
the hostess speed.
from
Taking a look at our weather,
the
cloudy
shame she
but
brought
warm.
upon her daughter. If I
Temperatures
was to
topping out near
interpret
76 today.
it wasn't
Right now we are
raw.
looking at 61 at
There was
Midway.
a
It's still
monotone.
61 at
I know
Rainbow
her
Beach
enough
and
to
61
say
degrees here
reasonably,
at the Talk of Chicago.
but she signed
Let's
up
look
for
at traffic
something
and weather now.
with
I'm
She
in
can't get out the
Talk of
phone call.
Chicago.
Yeah, she can't get out.
1690.
And I learned that. So when I looked at what
Wow.
suburbs, I went to go work on the Super Bowl race
on the
and
Talk
another
of
race in the
Chicago,
West suburbs.
1690
It is a theme.
WVON.
And we are back. The time is 10:26, and I'm going straight to the phone lines. Listen, guys, we're talking about The helicopter that did land in the city of Markham, and we have Mayor Roger Agpawa and his administrator, Derek Champion, alongside him. And we're talking about the issues of the Southland, leadership, public safety, and more, particularly governance. But in response to that, the phone lines are yours, 773-591-1690. Let's talk to Joe Citizen. Joe, welcome to WVON. Joe, are you there? Oh, Joe, I want to know what you know. Joe has something good to say. Okay, there he is. Yes, I can hear you.
First of all, I love a woman, one kind of woman who's got balls. I mean, all due respect, at least to put Markham on the map. Has she been a fellow firefighter officer? That's the kind of attitude I want. Yes, I know people can go crazy, hairstyles and all that, but her daughter will know that she rather ask for forgiveness than for permission. I know Markham and safety, yada, yada. Trust me, I had a job where safety was paramount. But this is just one of those times that a Trump attitude from a Wakanda woman is the kind of attitude I respect. And all due respect, if she has to pay for it by price, let her pay for it by price. I'm just tired of us always being victims, always thinking some reason why we can't do something. And white folks just be audacious every single day. To that woman, yeah, pay for it if you had to. Don't do it again.
Hey, Joe, can I ask you this? I love how strong you are. You said it with your chest. What if she paid for it with the price of her job and benefits and all that she invested into it for that moment? What do you say to that?
Hey, right on.
So she loses everything.
I am tired of people talking about how they worry about losing stuff. I am sorry. I've done stuff where I came close to having my position taken away, but in the end, I won. I'm not saying this is going to be a precedent for everybody to do something else, but this is a unique experience. I'm normally against all kind of foolishness. For some reason, I don't know why, they're going to pick this thing, and Markham is the flyover town anywhere. Just be honest about it. Nobody wants to go to Markham because that's the first place on their map. Markham should be the place that they should make sure that everything should be coming to Markham. Use that as an excuse for advertisement to say, we're in our safe community, come and be part of it.
Thanks, Joe.
Mayor Powell is going to respond.
Thank you, Joe. I couldn't agree with you more about, trying to make this a destination point, but it'll never get there like this. That isn't the way you do it. Now, I couldn't agree with you about how outlandish that white folks can get about different things in their community. But, there's a basis somewhere, too. And I just wouldn't believe that this is where we need to start it. And certainly, again, hey, look, we should celebrate, and we should, definitely celebrate the child, and definitely say, hey, the mom is doing all she can. She's going all out. But it shouldn't be at the cost of, hey, I don't think we need to be the poster child for this. And I don't think she has the right to do that for a whole community. And I don't think that that's how we ought to do it as Black people, is that we're going to make a statement and we're going to say it belongs to everybody, because it doesn't.
Well, good call. So listen, guys, when we come back, I'm going to hold the mayor just for a second, because I have a message for him strictly from Malcolm X. You don't want to miss this.
Cloudy but warmer, temperatures climbing into the mid-70s. Good morning. I'm in Illinois, and here's what's happening. Mayor Brandon Johnson is marking 3 years in office by conducting a media blitz to reflect on his wins and losses. He says one of his victories is his record on combating violence across the city.
I already know that. Tell me something I don't know. But their communities ain't falling apart, gotten helicopter landed. And Markham is not a destination point because of this kind of thing. So
however, one of the mayor's harshest critics, Alderman Raymond Lopez, doesn't see
put all that on the crime on us. And by the way, that was Joe's critic. Somebody didn't say it.
So, yeah, every blue moon. So
Mayor Johnson says he's also happy about reopening mental health clinics and creating more affordable housing throughout the city. He has yet to announce another run. Well, as families are now struggling due to recent cuts to SNAP, the federal supplemental food program, a Westside grocery store is stepping up to help. Perry Williams has more.
you know, I gotta say the radio. I told my son he did. But you know, that's the thing that we miss. We miss it, and that's why, you know.
Well, here's what I found to be very shocking, because usually he's anti-foolishness. I instantly said, "Oh, she's gonna lose everything." Instantly. Now I don't know how extreme this is, but I know Bert.
It's in court. The only way she loses is if we get governed. We're in court with them over.
And a high-profile clemency case is now on the governor's desk. The Sun-Times is reporting that Governor Pritzker is set to decide whether to free former Gangster Disciples co-founder Larry Hoover. Hoover is serving an up to 200-year sentence for ordering a 1973 murder. He's now in his 70s and has been locked away for more than 50 years. His supporters say it's unfair that he remains in prison while an accomplice was paroled after 20 years. That's a look at our news now on 1690 WVON. Traffic and weather up next. WVON News Time, coming up on 10:33.
The
OPC is more than a presidential center. It's where history meets hope. In June, witness history being made. We're WVON.
So you landed a helicopter
It's
for your
gospel
baby.
with
What
Pam
about
Morris
mine?
Walton, your gospel sister
And
on
they will never stop.
WVON Sundays 11 to 2 p.m.
So
Music
you
to help
set this
you
bar.
on your journey. I'll see you there.
Well, this is where when I was
WVON.
watching her in real time, I said, "You're not a leader." Because a leader would have
When
thought
your
about
body needs
that.
real
Right?
nourishment, don't settle for ordinary supplements. At the Aloe Shop, we believe wellness starts with nature. That's why our premium aloe and nutritional products are crafted with the highest standards, pure, potent, and made to support your health from the inside out. From digestion and energy to immune support, the Aloe Shop helps you feel your best every day. The Aloe Shop at 117 East 95th Street in Chicago. Call 866-256-3747 or reach us online at thealoeshop.com. Come on in and get healthy. Now available at Living Fresh Market
Right,
in
so
Forest
she's
Park
really
and
gonna, she's
at
not
Pete's
gonna
Market
last long
throughout
off
Chicago
the
land.
start because that's gonna stay
Ready
on
to
her
fire
for
up
the
more
whole
taste
day.
buds, Chicago? Black Oak Kota Hibachi
But
serves
you
fresh,
didn't
authentic
really
hibachi
think
and
that
sushi,
could
served with a
remotely
smile.
at all.
Grab takeout,
You
order
know, and I
delivery,
was
or
just
dine
like,
in
what kind of
casual
movie
style.
trip?
No
So then
flavor
that's what
show,
made me
just flavor that
revisit.
steals
Oh
the
yeah, how
spotlight.
they
And
work.
hey, tell them
Because
WVON is your favorite radio station and get 10% off your order. Visit them at 258 West 31st Street, open Tuesday through Thursday, 11 to 8, Friday and Saturday till 9. Sundays till 7. And don't forget, tell them WVON is your favorite radio station and get 10% off your order. Go to Hibachi, where flavor meets culture.
Pull up to the flagship location at 258 West 31st Street and stay tuned. The Kodo family is growing. New location
And then she
coming
got
soon.
the substance, right?
Catch
So,
Reverend Al Sharpton
and they
online at
came back
WVON.com or on the WVON app. Just click the Al Sharpton banner. Tune in every day at 12 noon for your daily dose. And if you miss it, catch the overnight replay from midnight to 3 a.m. Keeping it real with Al Sharpton on WVON 1690.
Reverend Al told you personally.
Everybody.
If you would have put it up in a Humvee or whatever,
Keep it real.
Keep it real.
Have you checked out WVON's digital streaming network on TV? It's everywhere on Roku,
Yeah, but it
TV
was the
Plus,
lack of
Amazon
the-
Fire, on the WVON app,
Sometimes
and
I'm
at
woefully
VON.TV.
disappointed when I
Vaughn
see
TV.
maturation
It's cultural
as
content on
it is.
purpose.
It could be gray hair.
Maria
it could be
Pappas with
age,
Black
it could be
Houses
this,
Matter.
it could be that,
We're up
and
to
then
way
they come
over
up
400 million here. Yeah, giving money back. How about that? People in Bellwood got 10 million, Brockton 6 million, Burnham 3 million, South Holland 17 million, the city of Chicago some $190 million that we have given back to African Americans. Who does that? Nobody does that. WVON.
Cook County Treasurer Maria Pappas with Black Houses Matter, Monday mornings at 11:30 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
What they getting off the top
It's
and the
brought to you
back
by
and all that shit.
Monster.com. Buying
It is
custom
what it
blinds
is.
shouldn't be
But
complicated
they
or
make
stressful.
sure that their
That's why
faces
Monster.com makes it simple
and
and
their
affordable.
streets and
You
their
measure, you install,
the
and you
business
save big on
districts and
custom
the
blinds. Ordering takes
functionality
minutes.
that
Installation
falls
is easy.
short of how
And they
their
guarantee
quality
they'll
of
fit.
life. That's all I'm
Blindstar.com.
talking about. All the rest of it, I ain't even stuck.
WVON traffic and weather now.
It's what you do
Brian
and
moving
don't do,
well
right?
in
I
both
ain't
directions
hearing
from
this.
roads. No
But all
delays
the
either
rest of
way.
that, I
As
don't
you
even
make your way along
care.
Bishop
Right?
Ford,
Like,
to
so
King Herman
I
Memorial
think
and
we
just
get
on
lost
Luxury
in
Drive,
that.
move along at the close to
that
speed.
drives me.
If you're on
too,
the
right?
Stevenson I-355 to
It's
DeSable
so
Drive,
many
just about a
components
30-minute
of
trip
leadership.
outbound clear.
And then that's
The
why I
Eisenhower looks
sometimes
good
would
each way as well.
pray for
And the Kennedy, no
emotional
problem to
in
report
terms of
there.
my
A
own
30-minute
journey.
trip in from
So
O'Hare to
whatever God
downtown.
would have
Getting to
me
the
do.
airport
But
will
when I
take you
saw
just about
that, I
25
saw
minutes.
modalities
Gray skies,
of
but
not only
mild and
failure,
warmer.
but just
Temperatures
ignorance.
climbing into the
No, we're
70s.
so
We're looking
ignorant.
at the daytime
I have
high
to tell
of
you,
around 76.
So that's the
I
best
got
way I
to
can
tell
put
you
it.
why. I mean,
Still lingering right around
while I'm in
61
that
at
moment,
O'Hare.
like you said,
Is 61 in Riverdale and 61 degrees
we're
here
here
at the top of Chicago.
not because
That's
of
a
all
look at
that.
traffic and weather.
You know why we're
I'm in
here?
Illinois
To
on the top of
validate
Chicago,
you.
1690
I'm telling you.
WVON.
So that's why we're really here. I'm telling you.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
If you have no critics, you'll likely have no success. Because the moment you stand up for yourself, the moment you stop begging, you become a problem. And I'd rather be a problem than a slave.
I'd rather be a problem than a slave. Listen, guys, we are embarking upon Malcolm X, our elder, our spiritual giant, will turn 101. What a heavenly birthday. And that message I played exclusively and purposefully for the leadership of Markham. If you have no critics, what would you be without the fans? And I'm not talking about y'all getting in line and pulling fans out. I am literally talking about the critics that are blissfully ignorant to how governance truly works and the commitment that you all put up day to day, whether it is in the public sphere or in the private sector, of how we formulate. Because many times you're in the war room and folks really don't even understand what that means. But the planning and the plotting of how you're going to present and talk and do. And right now, for a little hot second, Markham, the city of Markham, is in the national news. And as formerly educated in communication, but as an operative, I know all news is good news, especially if they spell your name right. So here it is, an opportunity to raise awareness in the banners for the needs of the Southland. What are they, Mayor Agpawa?
Well, you know what was my joke? I was on a mayors and managers meeting last night. I'm the chairman for public safety in the region for other mayors and other communities. And I had to lead off with some of the things we were talking about with police and fire departments about different things. But one of them I had to talk about is that Markham wants to be the third airport. And so everybody got a kick out of it. But, you know, if we manage our affairs over the things that don't seem to be positive, and we turn it around and we make it into what it should be and just redirect the narrative to what it should be, the Southland needs economics. It needs, it needs a lot of tax relief, and it needs to have good governance throughout it. And I think that I have a lot of colleagues in the Southland that are really working towards that effort in their communities, and we're doing our part, and that's what we need. And so if you get these polarizations like this, it's what you do in those moments. We're trying to process it. Markham is just a small part of a lot of other communities that are trying to get it right. Hey, listen, like I said, we've done some things that we haven't done in decades there to turn the community around. But hey, it doesn't mean that we're perfect. But even in this instance, we hope and pray that we can get some things turned around over this issue and the people involved, and hope the best. Now, but make no mistake about it. We're going to definitely toe the line and make sure that we do things correctly. So that won't be understated at all. Is that we will stand the ground to do what we need to do to get it right.
Well, I'm going to the phone line, 773-591-1690. And before I do that, I had to read, is it Andrea? I didn't get so many comments since then. Andrea said, maybe they saw the Cosby Show episode when Theo wanted to get his pilot license to take their dates to the prom, and they went on a helicopter. Now, Adria, I hadn't thought about that episode in a long time, but you made me laugh. It is Funny Clip Fridays, and it's interesting Somebody else said, Gary Lewis said, Miss Brown did a very stupid thing, and that she could lose her job over. She's clueless to the negative optics created and used her office to carry out this prom send-off. And literally, Gary, I thought about that, right? Ultimately, who's going to stop all of the residents of Markham and the surrounding suburbs for saying, hey, my baby want a prom send-off too? And what grass can they pull up on? Right? You set the bar this high. Let's talk to Robert. Let's see what Robert has to say. Robert, welcome to WVON.
Good morning. Thanks for taking my call. I have a question for the mayor. Is there an ordinance against what this woman did regarding landing a helicopter in your park out there?
Robert, there are several nuisance ordinances that would apply to such. As far as anything with federal aviation, obviously no, absolutely not. You know, who plans to make sure that you have governance like that prepared for these type of things? We do have other things that we do have in place from a safety standpoint when we have had medevaced people out from the expressways or different things like that with accidents. So we do have some procedure that way, but something specific that would speak to her doing it, no. But we usually make sure that we're out there to have police or fire and EMS available should there be some type of an incident. Nothing becomes a projectile or something goes in certain, gets flown at someone. So we have distances covered and different things like that. So that's all it would have come to this. Maybe if there was some communication about it, maybe we could have talked about, putting some of those components in place over it. So no, to answer the question, no.
And good call, Robert. Good question. Listen, and Administrator Champion, do they call you Administrator Champion or is this Mr. Champion?
I call myself a community champion, but they call me.
I love it. You got a little personality. I love it. So it's just Mr. Champion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can be a little formal sometimes. So, Mr. Champion, when it comes to just the preparation of the unforeseeable, because what Mayor Agpawa is saying, who would have foresaw that? And oftentimes governance, that is the institution of laws and rules. And I'm a nerd like that, right? So when I speak to, whether it's my ward, my region, and the audience, whomever I'm before, laws and rules usually don't come about until something unforeseeable manifests and either puts folks in harm's way, wreaks some havoc, like you said, a nuisance, Mayor Agpawa, some bodily damage. Folks could have been injured. It is a helicopter, right? So now that we're here comes governance in terms of laws and rules. Talk to us from an administrator standpoint, the mindset that it put you all in strategically and otherwise.
Yeah, let me just say this first of all. When I started in state government and was trained, one of the rule of thumb was never bring any embarrassment to the job, right? And I think this situation has brought some embarrassment to that taxing district. One of the things that the city of Markham and myself and the mayor and our city council, we focus on, sometimes we have to be proactive with a lot of things, and we are, but when situations like this come up, we have to, convene and see how we can keep things from happening like this in the future. I just think that we have to continue to monitor things, some things that we can't prepare for, some things we have to react to in real time. And I think the city of Markham, under the mayor's leadership, has been doing that for a while, Cleopatra.
Well, ultimately, when it comes to, I keep bringing it back to the taxes, right? The city of Markham has so much beauty, but so does the Southland. But it has made it to the point of not necessarily undesirable, but unattainable. That is the word, right? For those that would love to understand Black suburbia, the Black tax. Now that we're moving in a different direction from voting out Fritz Kagi to the new guy. I can't even think of the new guy's name.
Hines.
But Hines, okay, Dan Hines, there you go. And I want him to bask in being new, but I want him to come with a new plan in terms of how we're going to survive Illinois, because it's not just exclusive to the Southland, but the Southland potentially carries the state of Illinois. And I've always said that, and it is true. You know, from a local level, a hyper local level, what do you say to those that want to come back home to Markham, want to make Markham home, would love to explore Markham? What makes it desirable despite where we're at as a state in terms of the improper balancing of our property tax system?
Go ahead. Yeah, let me just, so that's a great question. First of all, I want to say that Markham is nestled in between three major interchanges, 294, 80, and 57, that can get you to several major cities within a few hours, right? Under the mayor's leadership, I have to say that Markham, our public works department, works 7 days a week. Markham is a very clean city. Because Amazon is there now, we are using Amazon as an anchor to attract other viable businesses. We have some great businesses in the pipeline, and the mayor and our administration are working on a new housing program. There's some things that are
What's that? What we doing?
New businesses coming in.
New housing development?
Yeah, that's correct.
Really?
Building.
Okay, so a multi-unit. Okay. Because Markham
building homes.
Single
family.
You know, families like me, we lean in with our ears. So when was the last time homes have been built in Markham? That's a good question.
I think it's probably been at least 15 years. Minimum.
15? Yeah. Interesting. And in this housing development opportunity, that is a new bandwidth to welcome in a new wave of families.
Correct.
What's the population of Markham?
Well, the census says about 11. I think it's about 13.
Mm-hmm. So in growing Markham, here we have Dan Hines. We have this opportunity of some new light on Markham. You all are catapulting and utilizing Amazon. Unlike, Amazon is behind my home. I call behind my home $1 billion road. And oftentimes I feel as though in the inner city, it's not utilized properly. I think you all have a unique opportunity to take and propel the wealth that is being exterminated, sucked out of our institutions, to streamline it in a way that will sustain for generations a Markham and the surrounding municipalities.
Let me go back to one thing for just a moment and bring us back up to speed.
Well, hold that thought. When we come back, Preston Shanks says Amazon is not a desirable corporation. And he also says, what else are you saying, Preston? Preston says they will be AI driven. So there are some fears. I behind my house, I'm not a fan of it at all, because they wear and tear our streets. My schools do not reap the benefits, so on and so forth. But I look to leadership on that. And I'm not blaming the mayor. My leadership been there longer than the mayor. It is based on the articulation and agreement of how Amazon came to be. And I'm going to examine that with Mayor Agpawa, because I know for a fact the Southland did not play with Amazon. They decided to come that way. And that was my problem with my backyard. I think my backyard was just so happy that they coming. Shh. When we come back, you don't want to miss this.
More from Cleopatra coming up next.
I remember that.
Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
The point I was going to bring up.
Favorite WVON personalities on Facebook Live? Don't just watch, like it, love it, share it. Every click helps us grow the conversation and keep the community strong. So remember, like it, love it, share it, Chicago.
Yeah, because I
Early
think a big
detection
part of it,
saves lives.
so even with me,
Routine screenings and regular doctor visits can help identify serious health concerns before symptoms even begin. And that's your healthy reminder.
This healthy
I would love to
is
free us all,
sponsored
but
in
it don't
part
work out.
by the South Suburban Chicago,
I got all
Illinois
of these
chapter
stuff,
of the Links Incorporated and Vantive.
It's a family outing. Skip the carpools and help aboard Metro. With reliable service and weekend passes, Metro is here to make sure you're ready. Start with a smile.
Hey, Chicago, it's Henry
Yeah,
Chief.
that's
I know you're a
truly,
blues fan. Chicago Blues Fest
don't
is
have
back
one
at
person to say
WVON
it,
and
right?
bringing the soul of the city with it.
Uh-uh.
Join your favorite
Yeah.
WVON
I had to learn
personality
that the hard way when I started at
7
Southern
at
Post.
Millennium Park. Friday
I
night,
was one of them.
celebrating
What you
55
What he
years of
said.
alligator
When I
records.
first started at CPS, they said,
Bonnie Brooks,
even if
Outlaw
you just
Tale,
say one,
Eric
I'm looking at
Christone,
30.
Kingfish
Yeah.
Inc. Saturday,
I'm looking at
bringing
300.
75 years.
That was the hardest, that was the most growth
Chicago's own Billy
reality
Branch, Kenny
for a
Neal,
young
and Freddie Baker
professional.
Brooks. And we'll
And
close
then
out the
as
weekend
they
on
eventually broke
Sunday
me
with
into the
legendary
system,
Taj
I
Mahal
learned.
and the Blues
Coming as
Band.
a
A
teacher
special
or what?
tribute.
Actually, no. I've always been in post-secondary. So my
Jordan
master's degree is in
Shepard.
social work, concentration in community health and urban development. So go figure, like I'm multifaceted in terms of time, so damage control and etc. And the opposite side of it, and then seeing the community and its wellness and how it really should function. And like how does everything go together? I asked me why.
It's Matt
That's just how I
McGill.
made it. So, from a CPS standpoint, I didn't like how they use social work. They just work with IEPs and all. I think that was wow. So, you talking about freeing the slaves, you can't free them if they don't have tools. You know, that's how they get in the penal system. That's true. So my toolkit was post-secondary and otherwise, right?
Matt
I was to
McGill
come
on
back.
the Talk of
I was
Chicago,
always come
1690
back. So, when I
WVON.
talk about going home to Markham,
If you have a
I'm excited to
2004 or
hear
newer vehicle
development
that's out of
because
warranty or about to
we've
be,
been looking at
Endurance
homes
is
for
urgently
about
notifying U.S. drivers
years.
about their low-cost
Why
vehicle
would I
coverage
buy
plan
your
designed to
recent
save
home
drivers
of
thousands on rising
1990 and
vehicle
you done
repair
lived
costs.
it
Those who
and
qualify can
worked
get their
it?
plan coverage and
Now, in
repair
my
shop,
house, I
roadside
do have
service,
a
towing, and
historic
rental cars
piece of
included. All
history. I
covered
live in the
repairs
First
get
National
paid
Park.
directly
I
to the
live in
repair shop
Pullman.
for you. Call now for
But
your free
my
quote.
daddy told
Call
me
800-295-6576. 800-295-6576.
so essentially, I did buy a new house.
It's
And it
Sunday.
didn't
It's
dawn on me
football
until
season.
about a
There's
couple
serious
weeks ago.
issues we need to tackle
I
together.
said, "Man,
Lower costs,
we gotta
more
do this and
jobs,
do that." My
safe
brother said
streets.
I should go on
Join
the
us as
wall
we
and this.
provide expert
So I
analysis
do
to
own
map
another
out
one,
the
but we
strategies to
did
beat
that
the
one
odds.
brick
And
and mortar.
there's work to do. It
I
takes
don't think
all
I
of us.
wanna.
Tune in every Sunday at 2 p.m. for the brand new show, The Sunday
You're
Playbook
gonna
with
have to buy a
Richard
new
Boykin.
house. So I'm more interested in the new development at this point because I want to live in a new house too.
Traffic and weather now.
There's nothing stopping you messengers out there from getting those packages out on time. There's no problems, no delays on the roadways. As you make your way along the Ryan, you'll move along at the posted speed in both directions. The Bishop Ford looks good traveling in, except we are seeing some light traffic from 70 to 130th Street out. Otherwise, things are just moving well. If you're on Tuskegee Airmen Memorial, nothing there. You saw Lakeshore Drive, things are pretty nice and quiet. The Stevenson and from I-355 to Southern Drive, 30-minute trip outbound just fine. The Kennedy looks good each way, and as you make your way along the Eisenhower, just about 40 minutes from Thorndale to the Burns Circle, outbound really close to the posted speed. Taking a look at our weather, we are seeing some clouds over today. Temperatures are expected to top out in the mid-70s. 76 is our official high. 51 is our low.
I mean,
Still 61 in
you
Midway,
just
it's 61 in Riverdale, and 61 degrees here. It's the talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm in Early on the talk of Chicago. 1690
I now
WVON.
know, right? Because I developed a project.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
They don't want it because they can make you walk.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
If I could move to the Southland, if I could afford it, what would I do first? Ooh, Mary Powell, you all caught our attention when you start talking about development, new opportunities, but what is always looming is the black tax, and you wanted to come back to that. We're talking about the city of Markham, guys, and in the studio for the last few minutes, he's hanging out with us. All things Southland, like all roads lead to the South, all black folks that ran to the Southland, and now they are holding on by the seat of their pants with this black tax. Talk to me about it.
Very quickly, one of the things that, I want to say that, in order with some of the topic today, what people hear is, for them to take your community serious, they need to hear less of the things that we had to talk about and more of the things that we're challenged with. And, so when it comes to taxing, everybody's faced with it, but there has to be a continued collaborative effort from state and county to get it under control. That's just real talk because, the taxing bodies themselves, there's different things that we have said at the state level where we have right now, we're fighting to get more local distributive funding that the state has control of. And we want that released to us so we can govern better. And one of the things that Markham has done in the last several years, we've been able to rebate $1,000 back to tax holders and homeowners in the community. We've done this. This is our second time that we're doing it. So we've been able to, show that we're serious about business to rebate tax money back to the homeowners in the community. Like, I have to say, who's doing that? Well, everybody's not doing that, but we're trying to do our part. So that's why we're asking our state legislators to look into different things with taxing law and the same thing with the county. So we have to be taken serious, and certainly we have to talk less about these other things that we do.
Well, one thing about it, you can definitely lobby right here with me when it comes to our listening audience. In fact, the Speaker of the House, Chris Welch, will be at the national headquarters for the Rainbow Push Coalition tomorrow. So I'll be with him tomorrow. Definitely will relay the message. But more importantly, when it comes to the General Assembly body, we have 34 representatives when it comes to Black legislators. I'm a nerd like that, and I do know the anatomy not across just the city, state, county, and all across our local spheres. And in these municipalities, we need to galvanize and whip our votes. If we want to transform the quality of our lives and this hefty Black tax we're paying, life in the Southland can be grand if we did not have to pay this Black tax. And we can look at it across the city of Chicago as well. But for right now, we're in the heart of Markham. What do you want to leave us with? How can folks that are excited about the work you're doing may want to come explore the quality of life and how grand it is? Because you all saying it's special. So what's special about Markham that will attract some new residents and those that are very vested to stay?
Well, it's on the way out here to say that we're doing our part. I think that we obviously, like anybody else, would like to stay under the radar and just go ahead and do our work over there. And then when something comes out like this, it's how you handle it, how you manage it, and how you deal with it that shows people that you're serious about something. And of course, we're not at City Hall to make judgment. We're just trying to make governance of a community and regulate as we should. And that's where it ends. That's what it should be. We don't need to run somebody's address. We just need to run City Hall and have us doing one thing and walking together.
Well, one thing about it, I appreciate our time together. I look forward to seeing all of what you all do as things increase. Administrative champion, Mr. Champion, the community's champion. You come back and spread the good word on behalf of Mayor Agpawa. And Mayor Agpawa, you are always welcome here on the Cleopatra Show.
Thank you very much. Glad
Absolutely.
Thank
So
you
listen, guys, when we come back, it's Funny Clip Fridays. We're paying homage to Malcolm X, but Drewski been dropping some jewels. Drewski making white folk real nervous, real mad, and I am enjoying it. I got some Garrett's popcorn as we continue to spill all the tea. Drewski is the MVP. You don't want to miss this.
Cloudy and warm today as temperatures climb into the mid-70s on this Friday, May 15th, 2026. I'm in Illinois, and in the headlines, Chicago Fire Department is mourning the death of firefighter Steve Decker. A 30-year veteran firefighter died during an afternoon training exercise yesterday.
Okay.
If you're seeing a bunch of Chicago police officers on top of Dunkin' Donuts stores, don't be alarmed. Today is the annual Cops on the Rooftop fundraiser for Special Olympics Illinois. And legendary singer Clarence Carter has died. The blind Southern soul pioneer was behind hits such as Patches and Strogan. He was 90. National news from the Black Information Network is next on the iHeartRadio app and 1690 AM WVON Berwyn, Chicago. It's 11:01. BIN News Now. A plane crashes 80 miles off the coast of Melbourne, Florida, with 11 people on board. They were headed to Florida from the Bahamas when they got caught in the storm, and the craft went down in dark waters. Black survivor 48-year-old Olivia Outen shared the terrifying experience.
Because all I see was dark water around us, and my niece, she was on the wing. And she told me, she said, Annie, she said, swim. I said, I can't swim.
She says it was a miracle she and all the others survived, rescued by the Coast Guard. U.S. Senator John Kennedy announces Louisiana will receive nearly $19 million from FEMA to support repairs and debris removal in areas affected by Hurricanes Ida and Francine. And the Los Angeles Sparks are honoring Basketball Hall of Famer Lisa Leslie with a statue outside Crypto.com Arena in LA. Back to you, Terry.
The Trump administration is delaying just over $1 billion in Medicaid payments to California. Vice President J.D. Vance is leading the administration's crackdown on fraud and says it may not stop there.
For those states that refuse to get serious about fraud, we're going to turn off that anti-fraud money. And if we continue to find problems, we can turn off other resources within their state Medicaid programs as well.
Vance clarified that the government is withholding Medicaid fraud enforcement payments that states should be using to police fraud, not withholding people's benefits. California officials responded by saying the deferral is politically motivated and could harm programs for seniors and people with disabilities. Medi-Cal, California's Medicaid program, will cost about $222 billion next year, covering over 15 million people. That's more than a third of the state. The administration is warning all 50 states that if they do not take stronger action against Medicaid fraud, they could lose federal funding. As of last year, Black Americans represented between 20 and 21% of all Medicaid enrollees in the United States. The Louisiana Senate has passed a Republican-backed congressional map that eliminates one of the state's 2 Black majority districts.
All the sides will lose the challenge in that. I think it will be unconstitutional.
Senator Jay Morris, but Black House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries is undeterred.
This effort is not over. It's just getting started. And by the way, come back to me on November 4th when Democrats have taken back control of the House of Representatives. That's ultimately going to be, what matters.
Morris says the congressional districts are drawn to reflect politics, not race. He says the map is essentially the same as the one that was used in the 2022 election. The DOJ says admissions policies of Yale University's medical school tip the scales in favor of prospective Black and Hispanic students over white and Asian applicants. This marks the second medical school the Trump administration's Justice Department has accused of discrimination in admissions. Earlier this month, the DOJ claimed the medical program at the University of California, Los Angeles had similar admissions policies. The Justice Department said its investigation of Yale University documents found Black and Hispanic students had a better chance of being admitted than white and Asian students with similar test results. Beyonce's Single Ladies, along with music by Ray Charles, Gladys Knight and the Pips, and the original cast album of Chicago are all just some of the latest recordings to be added to the Library of Congress National Recording Registry. The library has announced 25 recordings being added to its collection of audio being preserved for future generations. The inductees, representing the nation's artistic, cultural, and historic heritage, span genres such as jazz, R&B, pop, and Broadway, as well as radio and video games. Single Ladies was one of only 2 selections making the list from the 21st century. Stay informed, stay connected, and subscribe. Follow VIN News this hour wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Terry McCready for the Black Information Network.
Don't wait until something feels wrong to see a doctor. Annual checkups catch problems early before they become serious.
Your health, our community, for WVON.
With your help, the Illinois Lottery generated $784 million for education last year. Play all your favorite Illinois Lottery games today to help raise even more. Be smart, play smart. Must be 18 or older to play. Game odds are available at IllinoisLottery.com.
Vine TV brings stories in full bloom. See Martha's Vineyard versus DeSantis, a powerful documentary on politics, power, and human lives colliding, following migrant families fighting for justice beyond the headlines. and discover even more featured content on Vine TV. Films, series, and stories that keep the culture connected. Stream Vine TV anytime on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, the WVON app, or at VON.TV. Vine TV, for the culture, by the culture.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, and family history of kidney failure. All three put you at risk for kidney disease. We are at increased risk and should get screened. This is host LaDonna Ray. Every Tuesday in May at 3:30 p.m. during our health and wellness campaign, the National Kidney Foundation of Illinois will talk with us about kidney health, treatment options, free health screenings, and more. Tune in Tuesdays at 3:30 p.m. and go get screened. Visit kidneymobile.org or call 312-321-1500. That's 312-321-1500.
This is your host and life coach, Linnell Harris, and I want you to join me every Sunday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. for Inspirational Perspective. On Inspirational Perspective, we talk life vision, life purpose, and the show is all about helping you live the best life possible. So join me as we look at supporting you in living the life you intend to live and making your life's vision a reality. Every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 a.m. WVON.
Tune in Friday, 9 to midnight for The Fundamentals, where I, Titus T. Del Williams, bring the mental. Thanks, Captain Obvious.
And I, DJ Turbine Arturo Garza, bring the fun.
Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here? So if you want some wacky,
some good conversation,
but some fun,
and a little serious,
for all your sports needs, tune in to The Fundamentals.
Friday nights, 9 to midnight. See you there.
You like that? You like that?
You've got mail. Are you an insider? Well, if you're part of the WVON family, you should be. Sign up for the WVON's weekly Insider e-newsletter and stay in the know on all things VON. It's news, it's entertainment, it's the 411 on all things Chicago. Become an insider. Sign up on the WVON app or at WVON.com. You're now connected.
Goodbye. This report is brought to you by Dell Technologies. Dell PCs with Intel inside are built for the moments that matter. Like when you're finishing a big project and you can't be interrupted by an update. With long-lasting battery life and built-in intelligence, you can stay focused on what matters most. Built for you. Learn more at Dell.com/Dell PCs.
Live from the Xfinity Studios at WVON, it's the Cleopatra Show on Chicago's essential storyteller, 1690 WVON.
So they just sing whatever you say.
This culture's big as not you and Michael.
Sound good, of course, sound good.
Sunday, June 28th. Yo, Jamie! Man, what the? Django. Josie, what you doing in my neighborhood? I'm hosting the culture's biggest night. I'm hosting BET Awards this year. Where did you get the horn? Who's that on that bag? It's Black Suit Top. Black Suit Top. Can you get your black ass off my street? You can ride with me if you ain't got no ride. No, I can't get on there. Your pants too tight. I'm gonna go get my own horse. Damn! June 28th!
I'm Dominican. Let's stop it right now.
Hey, Cardi, make sure you bring the girls out.
I'll bring the girls. You know I bring the girls. Thank you, papacitos.
Okay, Cardi. We gonna do
hosting the BET Awards this year, man. Cut them off. Yeah. You can't do it. So you think I got time to go get a black suit tie? Hey, hit the sparks again. There you go. There you go. Come on. I knew you would come up with June 28th. I knew you would. June what? June 28th. The good ear. June 28th. Hey. Martin. June 28th.
We are back. The time is 11:11. You're listening to the Cleopatra Show. And of course, it's Funny Clip Fridays. And I would like to thank personally Mayor Agpawa and his dynamic administrator for spending some time with us. You know, I'm going to make sure that we take an investment with Southland leadership. You know, I know this is the home of, you know, my mayor, your mayor, Mayor Brandon Johnson, but we also have some dynamic Black leadership throughout the state of Illinois. In fact, we have the most Black elected leadership within the country. And a number of them I personally know. All right. So when it comes to the ins and outs of the city of Markham, who better knows it than Mayor Agpawa? Not just because he's the mayor, he's been there all his life. And I'm going to put some respect on that. And when it comes to the future of what becomes of the executive director, we will watch, look, and listen. But she's raised the bar helicopter high. Now, in that funny clip, that is Drewski. Drewski has risen to be a historical attribute of being the first of a lot of minis. But as an influencer, he's risen to be comedic. He addresses serious issues, and he's going to be the first influencer to host the BET Awards. When is the last time you saw the BET Awards? 773-591-1690. I'm curious. You know, BET has went through a lot of evolutions. As I spend time with Mr. Carr when he's here, Louis Carr, he's now the president of BET. His story is impeccable, and I love listening to a lot of his iterations of how he came to be. And I'm so privileged to have that opportunity with him. So I find him to be very intriguing. But Drewski is going to take it up a notch. I might have to subscribe and then unsubscribe after, because I don't have BET. In fact, I keep threatening my husband with an evaluation of said subscriptions. Like, he gives it to me, and then he's lucky we got 3 children because I forgot about it. But all these subscriptions, sir, and Mr. Draper's listening right now, I'm going to revisit it. He takes advantage of the fact that I get occupied. But we might have to download BET because Drewski got a message that is irritating white America. Not all white America, just one white American. Erica Kirk. Ooh wee. Erica Kirk had a not so nice message for Drewski. I almost want to take it as a threat of what he need not do, because he's been emulating her to the point of just, if Dragging Your Ass had a look, it would be Erica's picture in the book. Okay. 773-591-1690. I think Drewski is the champ. I actually, he's on my list of folk to meet, because I just think he is just so funny, but so real and authentic. Let's talk to JT. JT, talk to me. Welcome to WVON.
Thanks for taking my call.
Absolutely.
Now, I got a question. I want to go off subject a little bit. This thing about all these guys that got out on the electronic monitoring.
Are you way off? Wait a minute. You way off. Hold on. Put JT back on. JT, hold on. Because we went from Drewski to electronic monitoring. So I'm going to hold you for just a little bit, because I definitely want to get some calls in about the BET Awards. You know, Black folk, are we coming back to the BET Awards just for Drewski? I am saying, to spite this human being, Erica Kirk, who made a point to say to Drewski, does he not know BET is owned by a white man and how he need not drag her because of it? Now I might have to double down just because you threatening this Black man of what he need not do in terms of dragging your ass. Now, if you didn't show up the way that you did, you wouldn't give him food for fodder. But because you do, he got his eye on you. And I just think it's absolutely hilarious. I mean, nailed it. So I might have to. And I thought what he just did was so creative. So in the clip you all heard, Drewski pulls up to the homes of John Legend, Jamie Foxx, Cardi B, and Martin Lawrence. Now I really got to watch it because I thought that was enticing because they know that it's been a precipitous decline to support the BET Awards. So now that this young king has taken the mantle, he gonna run. He that big black hope on the 50-yard line, and I'm supporting him. I have to. Now I might unsubscribe afterwards, but it's just the fact that he is about to have a comeback from way back. Are you in or not? You know, it's Funny Clip Fridays. When we return, JT, I'm going to take your call. JT want to talk about some electronic monitoring. And I'm trying to lighten the load. But how can I? It will be the 101st birthday of Malcolm X. And in celebration, I'm playing some homage clips to him that is just relevant. You know, so when you think about Malcolm X, of the many statements he's made, what is relevant of a time such as this? And when we return, you know, I've been reminding us, and of course, I definitely got to tell us, you know, Sid's is going out of business, but they going out apparently in style. And if you love style, this is the moment. Sid's Clothing and Hats is saying goodbye. Everything is on sale. Step into 609 West Roosevelt or give them a call at 312-421-3332. Fresh looks, crazy prices. Don't miss out. And when we come back, you know, there's a fest that you all have to get there. And if you need a ride, Metro gonna be on time. You don't want to miss this.
More from Cleopatra coming up next on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. It's D.L. Hughley.
When you see things like what happened in Virginia, where they had a special election and expanded seats for the Democrats, Republicans have been putting their fingers on the scale of the elections forever. They've always done it. They've always gerrymandered. But now they have gerrymandered everything to the nth degree that they don't have any more room to gerrymander. And now these Democrats have picked up 10 to 12 seats. Even after this is all over, we got to get back to people who are involved in the pedophile ring. We got to get back to ICE brutalizing people. So the war is a distraction, but from some pretty horrible that we got to get back to.
Weekdays at 5 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This Saturday on Meeting the Moment, we're talking digital risk and real-world impact. Because in today's environment, it's not just about protecting your data. It's about protecting your message and your credibility. Adrian Ball of Project Sincere joins us to break down how organizations can manage risk in a digital world that never slows down. Tune in this Saturday at 12 noon for Meeting the Moment, powered by the Chicago Community Trust, right here on 1690 WVON.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. If you have a 2004 or newer vehicle that's out of warranty or about to be, Endurance is urgently notifying U.S. drivers about their low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save drivers thousands on rising vehicle repair costs. Those who qualify can pick their plan, coverage, and repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental cars included. All covered repairs get paid directly to the repair shop for you. Call now for your free quote. Call 800-295-6576. 800-295-6576.
Hello, Chicagoland. This is your main man, Tio, Mr. Ceasefire Hardiman. I'm inviting all of my friends, associates, and colleagues to tune in to WVON, the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM for the Tio, Mr. Ceasefire Hardiman Show. This show will cover all the hottest topics, including politics, reducing gun violence, and so much more, right here every Sunday morning from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM, WVON. Thank you.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Things are still looking good on the roadways. We're seeing no problems, no delays along the Ryan, the Bishop Ford, Tuskegee Airmen Memorial, or DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Taking a look at our weather, we're seeing some overcast conditions, just overall cloudy. Temperatures are expected to climb into the 70s. 70s are official daytime high, 51 are low. Finally, we went up a notch. We're at 62 at Midway. 62 in West Englewood, and now 62 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm in Illinois on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
To the first annual BET Award Show. How y'all doing? Y'all looking good? Big dog. Yeah, white man brought you a microphone. Good. It's working out. BET, the merger is working out. We got white people doing things for us. The merger is working out for us.
RS got me doing the BET Awards. I ain't gonna lie. They make me sick. They back there right now counting my money and eating chicken. Pay your taxes, y'all. I'm telling you right now, y'all make a lot of money out of y'all celebrities. Pay your taxes and don't listen to the wrong people.
Yeah. No, what I was saying was about the incident that's happening with the EM people. Now, electronic monitoring has nothing to do with Brandon Johnson, correct?
No.
It's Tom Dart.
Correct. Tom Dart and then Eileen O'Neill Burke.
Right. Now, it ain't like these killers kill white folk. They kill black people. Now, here it is. You don't have any information now from what I'm hearing from the news. They don't know where none of these people are at. Where's the marshals? Where's the U.S. Marshals?
So, I'm going to have to actually do some homework on this. So you've given me a homework assignment. I am not familiar with this situation, but I am familiar with the sentiment of how both Dart and Eileen O'Neill Burke feel about electronic monitoring. So I'm going to have to do some research on this.
Yeah, well from the report on the news, all these killers are running free and they don't know where they are. They don't even have the names on some of these people. Now, my understanding from listening to the news, if you can go back and look at the news, I was looking at it on Channel 9. How can all these killers go on house arrest? No one knows where they're at, no information, and they all was able to do it at one time. How did that happen?
I don't know. Good question. So when I do some research and I circle back to this, I know you're an avid listener. I hope that you would tune in because you just gave us a tip, so we're going to explore it. Thanks for the call. Listen, guys, when we come back, it's Funny Clip Fridays, and I can go with Drewski all day. But Drewski caught my attention yet again when it's a sticking point for me. And I support the African diaspora, right? And where we are across the globe. Please don't get me wrong. But I think Hollywood is very intentional of how they're elevating Black Britain actors to play roles here in America when it comes to the history of the descendants of slaves, particularly those that were of chattel slavery in America. And I agree with Drewski on this. So I'm gonna play this clip, and I want to get your take on the other side. We'll be back.
Cloudy skies, but warmer temperatures climbing into the mid-70s. I'm in Illinois, and here's what's happening. New this hour, authorities say a fallen firefighter suffered from a medical emergency during an equipment test. The Chicago Fire Department is mourning the death of firefighter Stephen Decker, a 30-year veteran firefighter who died during an afternoon training exercise yesterday. CFD union officials say firefighter Decker worked for Engine 71 on the city's far north side in West Ridge. The 61-year-old passed away during a mandated training session that involves some somewhat strenuous movements such as hose maneuvers. He's being remembered for his commitment and hard work. Firefighter Decker is the second Chicago firefighter to die this year. In March, 32-year-old firefighter Michael Altman died after battling a blaze in Rogers Park. Well, if you're seeing a bunch of Chicago police officers on top of Dunkin' Donut stores, don't be alarmed. Today is the annual Cops on the Rooftop fundraiser for Special Olympics Illinois. The 23rd annual fundraiser is going on today at more than 300 Dunkin' locations across the city. Since 2023, this event has raised more than $11 million for Special Olympics Illinois. Well, South suburban Calumet City Mayor Thaddeus Jones is now reacting to accusations that he used credit cards to pay for thousands of dollars worth of personal items. Perry Williams has more.
There are allegations that Mayor Jones spent tens of thousands of dollars on meals and travel. He refused to be compared to troubled ex-Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard.
Tiffany Henyard was a bad elected official. I've been in office and I brought over $900 million back to my district, $126 million to Calumet City.
The Calumet City Council voted yesterday to require Mayor Jones to hand over receipts with a June deadline to prove the money he spent benefited taxpayers. I'm Perry Williams.
Legendary singer and producer Clarence Carter has died. The Southern soul pioneer was behind hits such as Patches and Strokin'. In a statement from his ex-wife, he died Wednesday night in hospice near Atlanta, Georgia. The blind blues and soul singer was known for his raspy vocals and sometimes somewhat raunchy lyrics. He was 90 years old. That's a look at our news now on 1690 WVON. Traffic and weather up next. WVON News Time, 11:33.
Tuned in to your favorite WVON personalities on Facebook Live? Don't just watch, like it, love it, share it. Every click helps us grow the conversation and keep the community strong. So remember, like it, love it, share it, Chicago.
Having healthy kidneys is just as important as having a healthy heart. You need both to live. Too many of us are dying from kidney failure caused by high blood pressure, diabetes, and heart disease. Kidney care matters. So every day, drink more water, avoid smoking, alcohol, and social drugs. Also limit over-the-counter pain medications and take your prescribed medicines on time. This health and wellness Black Care message brought to you by the South Suburban Chicago chapter of the Links Incorporated and powered by Vantiv.
Hey Chicago, it's Henry Cheatham, your Magnolia Blues man. Chicago Blues Fest is back and WVON is bringing the soul of the city with it. Join your favorite WVON personalities June 5th through the 7th at Millennium Park for this event. Friday night, we're celebrating 55 years of Alligator Records with tributes to Coco Taylor, Lonnie Brooks, Aldog Taylor, and Chris Stone, Kingfish Ingram. Saturday, we're bringing 75 years of Chicago blues to the main stage featuring Chicago's own Billy Branch, Kenny Neal, and Ronnie Baker Brooks. And we'll close out the weekend on Sunday with the legendary Taj Mahal and the Phantom Blues Band. A special tribute to women in blues featuring Lynn Jordan and the Shivers, Melody Angel, and Deepu Bar. And keep listening for a chance to win an exclusive VIP Blues Fest experience. For more information, visit WVON.com/events. Brought to you by Mayor Brandon Johnson and DKs.
Have you checked out WVON's digital streaming network, Vaughn TV? It's everywhere on Roku, Apple TV Plus, Amazon Fire, on the WVON app, and at VON.TV. Vaughn TV. It's cultural content on purpose.
Living in the hood is not a curse, it's an opportunity. It's your block, your opportunity, and our movement. Join me, Dr. Roe Davis, every Saturday on WVON 1690 from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. as I help renters become homeowners and homeowners become investors. That's every Saturday on WVON.
This report is brought to you by ComEd, powering lives. Here's a great savings idea. Did you know you've got the power to manage your energy? Yep, from usage alerts to energy saving programs and more. ComEd has all kinds of ideas to help you gain control over your energy saving costs. Find out more at ComEd.com/energy savings.
WVON traffic and weather now.
The expressways are still in pretty good shape, but on the southwest side, we're still seeing Kedzie Avenue remains closed from 65th to 64th Place. That's due to some police activity in that area. It has been shut down since around 8 o'clock this morning. CTA is rerouting the number 52 buses. Taking a look at our weather on the cloudy side, but warmer temperatures are taking their time, but we're headed toward a daytime high of 76. Tonight, 51. We're up to 62 at Midway. It's 62 in Oak Lawn and 62 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather. I'm in Illinois on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
You promise you go with me?
Rudy, stop talking like that. You ain't gonna make no big city. Nonsense, gonna let you.
Yeah, I'm going with or without you.
Rudy, stop talking like that. Stop. Hey, what are you niggers doing over there? Hey, what are you doing over here?
And cuts! Fantastic! I need more American slave. Okay?
I struggle.
Yeah, the struggle.
I sort of like the dialogue at the back and forth banner.
Absolutely. Yes.
See, this role was sort of a bit cheeky. I got a little bit out of my comfort zone, you know. During the filming of this role in this character, I felt oppressed, like an American slave, like a lot of struggle. I studied the art.
Fantastic turnout on the red carpet tonight. I'm just arriving. We have Samson Dubois at the American Guild Awards.
Samson, you look great tonight.
How hard was it for you to change your accent?
As a little boy from Manchester, I think, I struggle a bit with the dialect, right? But to really get into character for this quite astonishing role that I took on, to say the least, I put it all on the line.
All right, 3, 2, 1, action.
I'm telling you, nigga, if you fuck with my shit, fuck. Ain't no fucking shit.
Cut, that's the one.
Stunning. Great performance. Working with a good London boy, and I bother him all the time. I had a call with the director. It was quite quintessential to the role, and great character development behind it. I put this fucking... I laugh because I'm penniless and a bit quite surreal.
Samson Dubois. Samson, yo, who's the girl?
What's your next movie?
Yo, do you think your British accent gets you all the black roles in America?
Samson, bro. Are you serious, bro?
Do you think you're better than them?
Better than who, bro? Black people.
Yeah. You
Gave a British dude a slave role, taught him a southern accent for 2 weeks, then had him accepting awards like he marched with Dr. King himself. That's why I made the skit. And this wasn't just me trying to be funny. I've been seeing this weird Hollywood shit for years. Every time they need a black American story, somehow a British actor pop out talking about cheeky and brilliant before yelling in the Memphis division. People just tired of watching their own stories get outsourced. Now, don't get me wrong. Them dudes talented, I ain't hating on nobody individually. But at some point, it stopped feeling like greed acting and start feeling like y'all replacing real lived experience with a good dialect coach. That's my issue. Some of these stories come from our grandparents, our neighborhoods, our history, slavery, poverty, police harassment. Growing up black in America, that ain't just a role people study for 3 weeks, then go collect an Oscar off of. Meanwhile, black American actors getting pushed further and further out the room. Half these studios don't even care who really lived this shit, as long as the accents sound expensive and everybody calling it diversity. Nah, Hollywood just like the accent better.
Listen, guys, we're back. The time is 11:40. You're listening to the Cleopatra Show. Of course, it's Funny Clip Fridays. Titus is the king of bleeping. And Drewski now wears the crown. He's got international attention. And as I was sharing with you, what I appreciate about this millennial, this young man, is he's not just making skits. They are coming with messages. So I wanted to play the montage, of course, of the skit, because he's examining what we've been talking about for quite some while. And he's highlighting, I'm thinking about the young woman from Wicked, British actor. She played Harriet. And when you think of Sir Idris Elba, now he's knighted, he's Sir. But Idris been playing us for a minute and straight out of Britain, across the pond type Britain. And it's not, like you said, it's not out of jealousy, but it does beg the question, Hollywood, what are we chipping at? So I plan to support this young king because I think it means more to me than anything to not only raise the awareness, but to see how does the widow of Charlie Kirk respond, since she's throwing out some threats to this black man and reminding us all that a white man owns BET. What does that mean? If that's the case, every network practically, with the exception of Tyler Perry and a few others, what does that mean to us? I think of Kathy Hughes and the many of the imprint of not only stations but television access she has. White men been owning a lot for a long time, ma'am. I'm going to the phone line, 773-591-1690. Let's talk to Lewis. Lewis, talk to me. Welcome to WVON.
Good evening. Good afternoon, Cleopatra. Okay, what they doing is they continuing what Barack Obama started in 2016. What he did in 2016 with a representative of Grace Mins, of a Democratic representative of New York, they erased the word Negro of all federal laws. Okay, and so what they're doing right now is they're continuing the erasure of the word Negro, because if you go back to what they call the Naturalization Act of 1870. There were only two races that could become citizens in the United States, and one of them was white people, and the other one was the Negro. But right now, they replaced that word Negro with African descendants, and that's not true, because in the Constitution, and in the 1790 census and in the 1790 Naturalization Act, they had defined black as free non-whites or coloreds, and the coloreds were the Africans, the Haitians, Jamaicans, and the free blacks, and then they had the slave, and the slave.
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
No. I want to take some more calls. I appreciate your points, though. Thank you so much. Let's talk to Eddie. Eddie, welcome to WVON.
Hey, Cleopatra, how you doing?
I'm good.
Good. First point is, basically what Drewski is pointing to, without even pointing to it, in my opinion, is that we have to have more black outlets, producers, and places to show our content that are owned and operated by black people. Now, I've heard several white producers say, and they weren't just talking about black actors, but they said that British actors, because a lot of these white characters are being portrayed by British actors, and they said that they find pound for pound that British actors are more classically trained and have a deeper depth than American actors. They said that across the board. And when I look at Idris Elba and the work that he did in The Wire, where I was just blown away when I found that he was British, because he nailed the brother. The brother that was in 12 Years a Slave, the one that I can't think of his name, but the main guy where he's a slave, he's British. Blown away when I found that out. And so then I wonder now, because the measuring actor's depth, it has to be how you portray a character outside of your sensibilities or sense of reality or consciousness. And how many black actors could nail a black Brit the way that black Brits nail black Americans? So I think it's less about stealing our cultural capital and more about getting what a producer or director wants out of that character and whom they deem can achieve that best. But like I say, they do it to white actors as well. Now it hurts us more because, and this is why it goes back to ultimately we have to have more black control over the production of our content, is because there's so few roles for us that if we can't even get the
No, I appreciate it. Let's take Ernest. Ernest, talk to me. Welcome to WVON.
I disagree with Eddie. It's making me sick to my stomach. I think the ADOS movement, the Black American movement, should be represented in the Harriet Tubmans, in the 12 Years a Slave. And a lot had to do with money, negotiating. You're going to have to pay us, Black Americans who descended from slavery. So it's making me sick to my stomach. You mean to tell me you can't find classically trained Black American actors to play these roles? I'm not buying.
I'm not either. Good call. Good call. Brother Wong, I want to acknowledge you. I did see your notations about Mr. Finance, and I promise you, I'm gonna sink my teeth into it. So I have been seeing your statements about it. You know, I read the chat more than a little bit. Listen, Tony, Renee, I want you all to hold tight. I'm up against a break. When we come back, I heard the other caller. He talked about Black and the evolution of Negro and naturalized citizen. And as we conclude out with Malcolm X, as we embark upon the heavenly celebration of his 101st birthday, I got a message from him. You don't want to miss this.
More from Cleopatra coming up next on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Smart conversations with smart people makes us smarter. And that's exactly what you get on Bound and Woven with Rufus Williams. This isn't surface level talk. This is where authors become experts, where books become blueprints, and where ideas are challenged, not just discussed. From Colin Woodard on Nations Apart, to Gloria J. Brown Marshall breaking down the history of protests in America, to Gary Tyler sharing a story of resilience and redemption in stitching freedom. These are not interviews. These are conversations that matter, because every book has a story and every story has a deeper meaning. Bound and Woven with Rufus Williams on Bond TV. You can catch us on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV Plus, the WVON app, and VON.TV.
It's D.L. Hughley.
If it weren't for the Black Panthers, American children wouldn't have free breakfast. Now, I don't know many groups that are only bad that feed children. The Klan only gave us burning cross. I guess you could warm your breakfast up on one.
Weekdays at 5 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This is Rufus Williams, and I've got something special for you. I am proud to announce that we're launching the Rufus Williams Travel Club in conjunction with Advantage International. Our first trip, we're staying in the United States and heading to one of the most stunning destinations for culture, to cuisine. Join us October 8th through 12th as we explore the charm, the beauty, and the history of Charleston, South Carolina. This isn't your typical getaway. We're walking through history and standing where our stories began. From the roots of Gullah Geechee culture to the International African American Museum, from cobblestone streets to waterfront views. This is more than a trip. It's a cultural vibe. To find out more, visit WVON.com and click the Rufus Williams Travel Club banner. And keep listening for more details. The Rufus Williams Travel Club will turn curiosity into understanding, one destination at a time. We are WVON.
Attention shoppers, after 65 years, Sid's Clothing and Hats is hanging up their hats, and you're invited to the retirement sale of a lifetime. Now through May 30th, everything in the store is on massive discount. That's every hat, every cap, and every accessory. It's our biggest sale ever, with prices you have to see to believe. Visit Sid's today at 609 West Roosevelt Road. While hats last and stock is moving fast, you'll find styles you love at prices you'll adore. Hurry in, retirement sale ends May 30th. Sid's Clothing and Hats, where style meets savings. One last time.
It's the afternoon show with Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Ray.
Congressman Jonathan Jackson on the line.
That's all it means. It said America will come and get you. When it's about the oil, they bombed in Iran, they've got oil. They bombed in Iraq, they've got oil. They bombed in Libya, they've got oil. And now they bombed in Venezuela, they've got oil. And they even came after Diddy because he had oil.
Come on, Congressman.
That was a great setup.
That was good. That was good.
It's the afternoon show with Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Ray. Weekdays at 3 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Hey everybody, this is Kendall Moore, the Kendall Moore Show, getting you from your work week to your weekend each and every Friday night from 6 until 9 p.m. I get you from your work week to your weekend. Church. Tabernacle.
Kendall Moore, radio for the next generation on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM, WVON.
Got a three, got a two, got a one. Yes! Tune in Friday, 9 to midnight for The Fundamentals, where I, Titus T. Del Williams, bring the mental.
Thanks, Captain Obvious. And I, DJ Turbine Arturo Garza, bring the fun.
Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here? So if you want some wacky,
some good conversation,
but
called Negroes, they resent it. So it would be applicable to or applicable to everyone. He said there's something that means a slave or something it means something that has been left out of society, politically, economically, educationally, and otherwise. You don't think of it as an anthropological term? Definitely. It's not an anthropological term. It's a slave term. It was a term that was invented and was used by the slave makers, slave traders, and slave masters and attached to the property or the chattel or merchandise that our people represented in that particular day.
And we are back. The time is 11:53. You're listening to the Cleopatra Show. And that was not my final message, but my final message of the day from our ancestor, Malcolm X, as we press upon his 101st birthday. I thought I would remind us, when you hear the word Negro, what it meant when he heard it. I'm going back to the phone lines. You know, we're talking about Drewski's iteration of Hollywood and how we're depicted by Black British actors. And, you know, I hear Eddie, but I also understand that it is X amount of millions of Black folk in America. And is it that hard to find a Black American to portray our history, right? And how does that impact feel when a Black British actor does it? You know, how do you feel? And I'm torn, because I'm not saying that Black Brits can't, because they're Black, you know, but are you my kind of Black? And what does my kind of Black mean? The kind of Black that was a descendant of chattel slavery in America. Is that the criteria? And I don't know if I can literally say that without saying that, because I just said that. Let's talk to Tony. Tony, talk to me. Welcome to WVON.
How you doing, Ms. Cleopatra? Thanks for taking my call. I just want to say something about the Drewski and Mr. Charlie Kirk's wife. Just how ignorant they can be about talking. Because the white man has been making money off of our culture for the longest. So it wouldn't be surprised me that a white man owns BET, because he know how he's gonna get paid off this Black culture, and he gonna let Drewski do whatever he wants, because he's going to draw in more Black people to watch it. So, yeah, that was an ignorant statement on her part. And on the British actors and all that, Ms. Cleopatra, I solely think that it's the money issue. Because they know the Black actors and the actors over here, they want that bad. But they can go over there to another country and give them less money and portray the same role. And same thing I see in the NBA. I'm a Lakers fan. I ain't seen this many white people on the Lakers team since I've been born. But it's about the money. You know what I'm saying? You get them guys to play a little less than what the Black players are. They don't want to pay us anyway. Then, yeah, they going to get somebody cheaper. They don't care what they sound like or look like. So, yeah, I'm kind of mad about that myself. That's all I want to have.
Excellent points. Excellent points. And you know what? I am going to dedicate a show to that, because everybody knows I bleed Cubby blue. And every so often, folks are saying to me, you know, it ain't a Black player on the Cubs team. You know, the NBA getting a little whiter, little white. You know, so I'm not oblivious to the landscape evolving. And is it because of the strip away of diversity, equity, and inclusion, the rise of white power, the desire to make America great again or white again? I don't know. But we are going to explore that. So put a pin in that. Let's talk to Renee. Renee, talk to me. Welcome to WVON.
Hey, happy Friday. Thanks for taking my call. Let me start by saying Idris Elba makes $8 million to $10 million per major film role. So the man is getting paid. So there's something else going on here. And Cleopatra, I had written in the chat something about BET, and I just wanted to respond to what you said, because while white people do indeed control all of the networks It does matter that the Black Entertainment Television Network is owned and controlled by white people, especially the Zionist white people, Larry Ellison and his son, who's the CEO of VO, who are racist. They're Trump supporters. They have messed up CBS since they took control of it. If they're in control, that means we cannot truly get our voices heard and the messages that we need heard if it goes against what they want to, to have put out there. So our truth isn't being told because they're in control of the message. And Malcolm talked about the power of the media and who controls the message, and you can present the truth as being lies and the lies as truth. So it indeed does matter. And regarding Black Brits, Cleopatra, I have somewhat a problem with people from a different culture saying our iconic people like Fred Hampton and Dr. King and Harriet Tubman, but I'm more concerned that our culture is being repackaged to Koreans, is being presented to them, and they're repackaging it as their own, and they're even teaching their students street dance, but not letting them know that street dance comes from Black people.
Well, thank you so much.
Very racist thing.
I appreciate the calls. Listen, guys, it has been a blast to be with you all. And before I jet out, I am going to sell out for a week. So don't anticipate to hear my voice. The station got this. You'll have somebody in on the Cleopatra Show. Let them know it's the Cleopatra Show while they sitting in here. But meanwhile, I'll be back the week thereafter. But Saturday, tomorrow, I want you all to pull up at the Rainbow Push Coalition for our Saturday morning forum. What's next? Justice and the American Map. The discussion will examine how redistricting, race, and the recent court decisions are making an impact when it comes to our representation and voting rights. Hear from Congressman Cleo Fields, Speaker Emmanuel Chris Welch, Yusuf Jackson, and Stacey Davis Gates. It's moderated by me, WVON's own Cleopatra Draper. And, in addition to that, we'll also have Commissioner Tara Stamps and a few others stopping by. But please consider stopping by 930 East 50th Street. The doors open at 8:30 and the forum begins sharply at 10 a.m. And we're extending it. So it'll be extended to noon because we have a number of folks. Congressman Jonathan Jackson is going to come stop by because this is serious. Congressman Cleo Fields reigns out of the 6th Congressional District out of Louisiana. So this is a big deal. You want to be there. It'll be live at WVON 1690 AM and of course across the platforms of Push Rainbow's headquarters platforms, their social media platforms. So please stop by and hang out. I look forward to seeing you all the week after next. I'll take some time away from the desk, but I look forward to being back with you all. So please have a safe and positive weekend. And of course, tune back in at 9 a.m. So just because I got a substitute don't mean you can be late, okay? Come to class on time.
Cloudy skies as we make a slow climb to a daytime high of around 76. On this Friday, May 15th, 2026, I'm an Efronian of the headlines. The Chicago Fire Department is mourning the death of firefighter Stephen Becker, a 30